Hey guys, welcome back to the stream. My camera's all fucked up. That didn't happen. Hey guys, we're here with the third and last episode of Summer in Woodlake, created by our very own Petra. Um, we're gonna be going through the game, and then afterwards, I want to kind of point to where you can get the game. You can buy it on the website. I will post it in a second, right there. And if you guys, if you're liking it so far, if you missed anything before this, don't watch. Go back and watch it on YouTube. There's links in Discord. But if you guys are ready to just jump in, Petra, if we have a recap.
Yes, we do. Let me see if I can remember everything. All right, so we have our four childhood friends. We have Mila, the 911 operator, who eventually at some point wants to get out of her little hometown that is Woodlake. Right now does not have the means to. And we have Dubs, who works as, I think I got it this time, as an arborist at Oggins Loggins. And who as well really wants to get out of this little town, or at least yeah get his life to into better shape, as it were. But for some reason can't really um, get the find the drive to do so. Then we have Quinn, who is a college dropout and has to watch as his life seemingly is falling apart as it seems. And then we have Leia, who so far has been the only one who not only has had her shit together, but also seems to have been happy with the way that her life had been developing. Um, First summer break after first year at college, everything was great so far until everybody gathered or came together at the Woodlake Youth Center, which, after quite some time of being renovated, was finally reopened again. And people had planned 2 days of festivities and games and music and whatnot. But things got strange pretty quickly. People seemingly saw other people giving them strange messages about how important it is to really put your heart and soul into whatever you want to achieve, to get anywhere. But other people apparently did not see and hear what they saw and heard. And then there was a little boy who just stood in the corner and stared at the wall. And then, oh yeah, right before the concert, or a concert was to begin, several people collapsed onto the ground and began convulsing, seemingly suffering some form of seizure. And among them were Quinn and Dubs, while Mila and Leia were not, well, partially helplessly looking on. I think Leia panicked, as this was a completely unknown situation for her, but she did her best with dragging Quinn out of the bathroom, sort of bumping his head against a few things on the way out. And then Mila could put to practice her first aid trainings as she aided Dubs. We also got to meet Alex and Hannah, the children of the local sheriff. Alex being a kind of crush, or not a kind of crush, I get a crush of Quinn's, but we haven't really established how long he's been sort
Quinn
of.
Quinn is a disaster bisexual, crushing on everything that's kind of attractive.
Okay, so it might be that Alex was just sort of the deal of the day.
Like, hot people make me nervous. Okay, don't judge me.
Don't we all feel that way?
That's why he hangs out with us.
I'm just so comfortable around you guys.
It's okay. Dubs is real comfortable around wood, so it's fine.
So much to explain, so much to unpack here.
So little time.
And so Mila noticed first that Hannah, the slightly younger, like a few minutes younger of the twins, had been behaving a little bit strangely, and that she seemed very tired and kind of off the game. And she was among the ones who collapsed. And then, oh yeah, before I forget it, Leia and Quinn also stumbled upon a guy trying to get to his own heart by eagerly carving into his chest using a pocket knife. And that happened to be the frontman of the band who was supposed to play.
You know, that small, forgettable detail.
The usual Friday night occurrences in Woodlake. So Quinn and Debs were brought to the Woodlake Medical Center, and Mila and Leia accompanied them, mostly to just not leave them alone, but they were also taken care of by the nurses there, and then Quinn had to blood sample and pee in a cup and had their vitals checked and whatnot. And ultimately, since everything came back fine, there were no anomalies in any of the tests. So the doctors and also the sheriff had expected to find drugs being involved, but since that didn't seem to be the case, they were eventually able to return home. And then, while at the medical center, Mila also managed to slip into the room of the Mike call sign Sunflower from the band, the one who carved into his chest. And she found out that he didn't remember anything of what he did in the bathroom. But he also had experiences those hallucinations where a bandmate told him, yeah, you really have to put your heart and your soul into it to get anywhere. And what else? Oh yes, and then while Quinn and Dubs were waiting for their test results, they overheard nurses speaking with each other, and the name or the phrase "acid Valentine" fell. And Quinn did some quick research on his cell phone, and he found out that this was an event in '75, which all of you vaguely remembered. It was a high school party on Valentine's Day in '75, where, similar to the reopening of the youth center, several people collapsed and convulsed, were brought to the hospital, but nothing was found in their blood. The reason why you didn't remember that part that much is because a case seemingly related to this acid Valentine has been overshadowing the other story, namely the fact that a young boy, or not a boy or young man of age 17 named Adam Evans was found dead, seemingly mauled by a mountain lion or something similar at the north shore of the lake, Woodlake. So the night after the acid Valentine party, which he also attended, and then apparently he left with 2 friends, and so the next morning he was dead. His female friend also died 2 months later. How, you haven't found out yet, but all you found so far is that things, or what Dub's grandmother actually said, is that the circumstances of her death were kept under wraps by the family, because she was from this girl that died. Her name was Eliza Carpenter. It all happened. She happened to be from a very influential family, so they were very tight-lipped about what had happened. And then the third friend, a young guy named David Baker, from what the grandmother recalled, just vanished from town for some time. But you were then interrupted, so you all had gone to the cafe that is called Enchanted Brews, and B is run by Grandma Dubs, Grandma Hextra,
G Dubs,
B Dubs. Pick your name. And is a cafe where I would really love to go myself.
I really want that place to be real.
Yes, me too. So after all of you went there straight from the medical center, just wind down a little bit, and then
We saw Hannah.
Right?
We saw Hannah, right?
Yes, I was going to come.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. And so Grandma Dubs joined your conversation a little bit. She also remembered the acid Valentine, and then the thing with the dead boy, Adam Evans, right? And she told you about what she remembered about the other two. She also told you that she remembered that about 10 years ago there was this podcast host who really dug into the story and tried to bring all the missing details to light, and apparently angered a lot of people in the process of doing so. But at that moment, Grandma Dubs wasn't able to remember the name of that host. And then Dubs basically froze in place, feeling as if something else had taken over his body. Oh, and yeah, also Dubs, while being at the medical center, all of a sudden, his back started burning, and he found, or Quinn actually found, and I took a picture of scratch marks, like 3 sort of parallel scratch marks that ran across his right shoulder blade. And so as you're sitting that was the last scene, as you were sitting at the cafe, Dubs all of a sudden felt compelled to look out the window, and at the same time felt as if he was frozen in place, unable to speak. And he sees Hannah standing outside. And so that is where I'm just going to bring us into the scene. So Dubs, you were the first one who saw Hannah standing outside. And this is summer. It's right now about 8:30, close to 9. So it has started to get dark, but it's still quite bright outside. So you see Hannah in a hospital gown, but not one of those that's open in the back. It looks like those, oh, I'm sorry, honey, you forgot to bring your own PJs, so just put on this. So it has this very generic print on it. But she's not streaking or half streaking. Anyway, she stands outside, and she has a little wooden box in her hand. And you make eye contact with her, Dubs, and in fact, it seems you feel like you cannot break that eye contact, and because you're just staring outside, everybody, at some point the others become aware of your strange behavior, and they look outside too, and all of you can see Hannah as she's just standing there, sort of on the porch, and again she's holding a wooden box. And Dubs, even without looking at the box, because you can only look into her eyes, you know what is written on that box, or carved into that box. It is a string of seemingly random letters, namely R, T, N, F, and L. And then from your mouth and from Hannah's mouth at the same time comes the phrase, I am me, and I am 3. And you can hear Hannah's voice in your head, and everybody else, you can see her lips move. What do you do?
I shit all my pants. No, Dubs is
Panic!
Dubs is gonna do like that.
For now, Dubs, right now you still feel like you cannot move.
I slap Dubs in the face.
I run outside.
Get that ghost shit out your mouth!
Okay, so you
It's like there's literally like a jump and a very high-pitched scream, and then I just slap him.
Okay, these two things happen at the same time. You slap Dubs, you take 1 harm, but it helps. You break.
Yeah.
I would say Quinn is panicked enough that it's a good slap. There's perhaps even a little bit of blood coming from Dubs' nose, but Dubs, right before sort of Quinn's hand makes contact with your face, out of the corner of your eye, you see Mila standing up, jumping up from her chair and rushing towards the door and opening. But before she opens, she turns around and looks at you, and with the same flat voice you heard her speaking with before, she looks at you and she says, "Don't you want to stop using me as an excuse to get out of here? You really should get your shit together." And then you, bam, like Quinn's hand, you get slapped across the face, and you jump out of it. But you also see that Mila is with your back towards you because she opened the door. Mila, the moment you open the door, there's no one on the porch. And I think that everybody else, Quinn, you slapped Dubs. Dubs, you blinked the moment that Quinn slapped you, and Leia, what did you do? Or what are you doing?
I think she's sort of deer in the headlights, kind of looking between everyone, trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
If someone... So he slapped Dubs?
Yes.
But Dubs seems better now.
Yes, he, whatever kind of trance he was under, he's now out of it. But as soon as you sort of turn your head back around, look outside the cafe window onto the porch, you also see that the porch is empty.
Okay.
And all of you see that, have the same view that the porch is empty. And in the background, you hear Grandma Dub saying, "Whoa, what is going on here? Are you quite all right? What happened, Quinn?"
And Quinn is like holding his own hand because it really stings.
Do you also want to take one harm?
No,
Yeah, he
I don't think it
does.
stings
He does.
that much, but it's like,
Very pointy face.
Sorry, Gran. Just some play fighting, And I like nudge Dubs to be like, play along. Let's not panic your grandmother right now.
I elbow him in the stomach, but like,
Okay.
because he told me to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Grandma looks at you, and then she looks at Mila, who, I don't know, Mila, are you standing in the open door? Mm-hmm. And so Grandma Dubs just looks at you, and did you see something? And then as she says that, Leia, you realize that the four of you were the only ones at the cafe to react to seeing Hannah. Mila, as you go around, so we see you looking at the porch and going around the porch and looking, around the corner, and then going to the other side, looking around the corner, maybe walking down the driveway a little bit, or the path that leads up to the cafe, sort of even looking into the bushes, or behind the bushes, but there's no Hannah there, and I would like all of you to roll Witness the Uncanny.
Yikes.
So straight 2d6 without any bonuses.
I have a penalty to mine.
Yes, we forgot that last time.
Yeah. So whatever the penalty is on a 7.
So
A 3 and a 4.
1, so you have a 6.
What? I have one breaking point. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my computer here.
I think that's also just a minus 1.
A minus 1.
Yeah. To your 2d6 roll.
You
No?
just roll 2d6. If you already have a breaking point, it doesn't affect. Wait, let me double check. Here we go again. If we.
It's okay. It gives me time.
Sorry. Mila, it's Ginger. That was a change I implemented into the. Here we go again. I wrote the rules, but I don't remember what I. So the penalties. the penalties you get, and I'm pretty sure you get the penalty from a previous Witness the Uncanny roll, right?
Oh. Yeah, because I didn't
Yeah.
handle my shit very well.
So you don't have to, you do not add it to this roll. You only add Witness the Uncanny penalties, um, penalties or the bonus to regular moves.
Okay.
And you add them individually to the next regular. That's why you have to keep track of it. But so right now you rolled a 7.
Okay.
And so math for sure, yeah, you can just go ahead and roll 2d6. Don't add anything.
Anytime now, computer. Anytime.
Okay, I'm just gonna start with
You could,
Debs.
if you could roll, yeah, or just go through everybody else first.
Oh, is your computer lagging?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe someone.
I'll roll as soon as I can.
Yeah. So Debs, you rolled a
6.
yes. Let me just minimize it.
You sounded really happy about a shitty roll.
I wrote this many.
So I leave that. So on a
Oh boy.
Nailed it.
So on a miss, the GM decides whether you take 2 breaking points or add -1 to your next roll and mark only 1 breaking point. Debs, I would say, because not only did you witness seeing Hannah and then seeing her had gone and then hearing her voice in your head and not being able to move, I think it's only fitting that you take 2 breaking points.
I'll take it. Yep. He's feeling kind of rough.
But you are now at 2 breaking points total?
Yes.
Okay. Then we get to Quinn. You rolled an 8.
Yep.
So you can choose. You either add -1 to your next regular move roll,
Breaking.
or you mark 1 breaking.
This is a horrendous situation. Quinn is definitely breaking.
Okay. How many breaking points do you have at this
I am
point?
now at 2. I was at 1.
Okay, so the
I have added
guys
it to the sheet.
are at 2. Just gonna write that down real quick as well. Then we get to Mila. Same thing for you. You rolled a 7, so either you get another -1 to your next roll. You would not add them. So basically, your next regular 2 moves would each receive a -1.
Okay.
Or you also take a breaking point.
I'm gonna take a breaking point.
Okay, where?
So I have 2.
Oh, nice. So you're at 3.
Wait, what? No, I have 2 now.
Oh, you have 2 now. Okay. And then
Quinn and I are heading to Crazy Town. It's gonna be great.
I'm driving the bus.
well, so far
Choo-choo.
everybody. Well, so Quinn, Dubs, Mila, you are all at 2 breaking points, 2 out of 5. Leia, so you rolled a 4.
That's not good.
I think it's seeing everybody breaking down around her. She can't, you know.
The
She
same
just,
thing.
She just starts flipping over trash cans.
Everybody needs to come.
Not enough people to recycle!
We got one planet.
I think she'd just start crying. Really, I think she's
Yeah,
just a.
I would say
of
for
those.
her, because so you came into this with fewer baggage than the others. Like you didn't really have any private stress going on. Things have been going fine. So I would say in this situation right now, gonna go with a -1 to your next regular move roll, and you take
Okay.
1 breaking point. How many breaking points do you have then?
I have 1 right now.
So then you also, so everybody is up to 2.
Okay.
Get
We are all
crazy
2 of
together.
5 crazy.
So Mila, what are you doing as you looked around? No Hannah anywhere, and one detail I forgot, so I'm just gonna bring it in now. So out of reflex, Mila, you pick up your cell phone again, and sort of you tap the screen, and there's still the text from Alex, Hannah's brother, that just said Hannah is missing, which both you and Leia got.
I'm gonna
So-
call him.
All right.
And tell him to come to the coffee shop. Alone.
It takes a bit for him to.
Well, I guess while he's on his way, just gonna. Quinn is like looking at Dubs and just like, you feeling ghosty? I don't know what's happening. Are you okay?
Okay, of course I'm not okay. I just saw the sheriff girl sitting over there like a fucking ghost, holding a wooden box with all these Wheel of Fortune letters all over it, like she can't even buy a vowel or something. Yeah,
I get that
what,
we're freaked out. I get that we're freaked out. I'm also freaked out. I mean, are you like about to go full out of body weird disappearing act on us?
I don't know, Quinn.
I'd really like to not find your body tomorrow.
I would really like for you to not find that either, unless it's like at home asleep, which is where I like to be. I got these scratches on my back. I got you hit me because I'm getting sucked into some kind of vortex with this ghost bitch.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So we have the two of you totally not freaking out, while poor lady sitting right next to you, sobbing into her whatever she ordered, coffee, and Mila.
Oh, she grabbed a pillow.
Yeah,
You know.
oh that because, and actually Grandma Dub sat down next to you, and is patting your shoulder, sort of, there, like, trying to make sense of all of this. And then I'm going to come back to you guys, and then so through the window we see Mila pacing back and forth in the driveway, sort of waiting for Alex to pick up. And then it does connect, the call connects, but you hear, nobody says hello, you just hear mumbling in inaudible voices in the background. So people speaking in the background, and people excitedly talking, and
Yeah, I think Mila's just... She gets on the phone, tries to convince him to come over, and then she just goes into a different room so she doesn't hear the two of them freaking out at each other. Because it's stressing...
You are outside anyway, I assumed, unless you... That's how I...
Well, she had to go back in to get her phone.
Oh, okay.
She didn't bring her phone with her when she
Gotcha.
saw it. So she'll go back in, start dialing, see them arguing, and be like, nope. And she heads to the front, and she'll probably just like steal a cookie or something and tell her after. But she's just like eating a cookie outside.
It's like you're leaning against the counter, and again, so you hear the call connects, and then you hear just voices in the background saying, yeah, we can. I don't. Have you seen her? Sort of people, as if people are walking around, shuffling around in a hurry, and then you hear a woman's voice saying, "Where could she be? Where could she be?" And then finally, you hear Alex's voice saying, "Hello."
Hey, I don't. You know what? You should come here. Just come to the coffee house.
Who is this?
It's Mila. What do you mean? Who is this?
Oh God, I'm sorry. I answered. I didn't check the screen. I'm not sure if I can come.
I might have
now.
information about where she is, but just.
What do you mean? Is she with you?
No, she's not. But you need to come here.
Okay.
Please.
Wait. Where are you?
Enchanted Brews. We'll be here for a little bit.
Okay.
We think we saw something.
But Hannah is not with you.
She's not.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Dad, hold on a second. Yeah, I'll be there. In like 10-15 minutes. Okay, and then he hangs up.
She'll walk back into the group. All right. I've called Alex. He's on his way. We have to tell him what we saw. Right, Dubs? And she just kind of pokes him to see if he's... Because she saw him...
Oh, yeah. I'm just scribbling down on, like, a little napkin the letters I saw in the box. And then scribble beneath I am me and I am 3. Like, yeah, you're all gonna hear about this crazy shit because I'm having a really bad time right now. And yeah, did you see this? Did you see the box when old girl showed up?
Yeah, but I don't know what was in it. Did you see anything other than what I saw? Her just standing there and talking?
Nope, I just saw it had some letters on it that said RTNFL. I don't know what those letters could be. Don't know what they mean. And then she kept saying, I am me, I am 3. So, yeah.
I am me, I am 3.
And so Debs' grandmother, she's still there, and she looks very worried at this point, and sort of, but not sure what to say. And then she looks at all of you and says, well, first I'm going to get you another round of whatever you want to have. And then how about the 4 of you stay here overnight? It's been some time since you had a sleepover here. And she looks at Leia and Quinn and says, we can, if you want, I could call your families, and Mila, and if your dad is around at the moment.
I stole a cookie.
Oh, that's all right, dear. Don't worry about that. And then she briefly sort of pulls over the napkin Dubs that you wrote on, Quinn, so that you can also see the letters that Dubs wrote down, because you weren't there when Rem just said the letter. So Quinn, you saw the letters that Dubs wrote onto the napkin are RTNFL.
Which is the same ones as I saw when we did the Ouija board, the Waluigi board, and asked the ghost why they're around.
Yeah. So Grandma Dubs, she
Cool.
gets up, she goes to the counter, and then she, earlier she started brewing some kind of infusion with different fresh herbs and whatnot, and so she just gets you, pours all of you a glass of that, and then puts new cookies and but also some not so sugar laden things on the plate, and gets you a second round of drinks, and just looks like she's very much in thoughts and also wondering how to deal with it. So
Yeah. You're not alone, Grandma. I think at some point it's like Quinn puts down the coffee mug and goes, right, hear me out, but what if we ran the hell away?
Given we're not adults and we don't have any money to really just go and live somewhere else, I like the idea. It's good spitball, starting point here. But hear me out. I think whatever happened back then is happening again.
Which is my exact point of, if we are somewhere else for the next, couple days, and it happens here, we won't die.
Can you
And
guarantee
I'd like... No, but I like the option of not dying. The chance of not dying appeals to me, you see?
I gotta... And she'll, reach over and kind of take his hand and squeeze it. Just be like, okay, but...
Yeah, I think the thing that becomes apparent is, while Quinn's doing all the nonsense, is that there is, a slight shake in his hands, actually, because turns out he's very scared right now.
Mila, your phone rings or vibrates, depending.
Okay. She looks at it.
It's Lorraine.
Okay.
From the, your 911 operator colleague.
Yeah, the one that she asked to, give her information. Okay. She'll kind of step into the doorway just so it's quieter while they're talking and pick up. Hey, this isn't
Hey,
a great
darling.
this isn't a great time. What's going on?
So I just got the news that I dispatched one of our deputies. Well, we have all people now on the lookout for Hannah Thorne, which is our sheriff's daughter, and the way she's speaking, you know exactly that she has the receiver like this, and that she's probably working on her nails right now, because that's what she always does. And yeah, isn't it really horrible? Like, I heard that the poor girl, that she went to the reopening of the youth center, and apparently she collapsed, and then there were a few other people who collapsed and like were twitching on the floor, and then Hannah somehow disappeared from the medical center. Can you believe that?
I can. I was there. It's it's
Really?
it was pretty bad.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry.
I-
You have to tell me all about it tomorrow, though. But I
Okay.
fear I can't stay on the line for long.
Um,
Technically, I still have a shift for 30 more minutes.
Okay. If you get any calls, and who's taking over her next shift?
Um, Brian.
Okay.
Oh, that would be Brian.
Leave a note for him, please, if you could, to just call me like I asked you to. Just
Yeah,
'cause-
sure. No problem.
Thank you.
I will let him know, darling, and you take good care of you.
Thank you. Bye, Lorraine. And she hangs up.
Bye.
Everyone is looking for Hannah. Is when she turns back to the group, she just kind of... Everyone's looking for Hannah. We think we saw Hannah. Alex is on his way here, because I told him we might have seen Hannah.
And I'm sure everyone looking for her would do everyone a lot of good if she couldn't vanish into thin air.
Yeah.
So Grandma Dubs comes and puts one tray on the table, and it's little mugs with the tea. And if you sniff it, it's Mila. I think maybe one of you probably saw it. She has put things in that, like well, maybe you wouldn't recognize it, but maybe you saw which jar she took it from. It's like linden and a little bit of valerian and just stuff to calm you down, and then add a little bit of honey. And so it's just the mix that if you order like okay, I really need to chill the fuck out right now, this is the type of tea that she mixes you. It has a slight lemony, minty smell and taste to it. And then as she puts it down, sort of, sets down all the stuff, and she says, hold on a second. And then she takes the napkin, Dubs, your napkin, and takes a pen, and then she writes down something. I think, and then Dubs, you see what she writes down is the true crimer. I think that was the name of the website, but also the podcast of this lady who actually visited Woodlake. Right, I mentioned that she tried very hard to get to the bottom of all of this, but then the sheriff really didn't like seeing her, and I'm really worried, you guys. I would really love for you to stay here. Let me burn some incense, and I can put up some new wards on the doors, and then maybe hopefully nothing else strange will happen over the night. And she sort of looks out and then looks back at you and says, you saw something, all of you out there, didn't you?
She looks at Dubs.
Yeah, yes, certainly did. And then I saw nothing.
And what was it?
It was Hannah standing in her hospital gown, holding a wooden box with those letters written on it, and spouting out "I am me" and "I am 3." And then I saw, and before he like drops it, he saw Mila say, "Don't you want to stop using excuses to get out of here?" He pauses right there. Yeah, that's what I saw.
And all of you saw this too.
That's why I ran outside to try to see if I could find her. She wasn't out there.
Right. But why Henna, though? I don't think Grandma Dubs has heard at this point that. Oh no, never mind. I take it back. She was at the table the whole time.
She also heard me on the phone.
Yeah,
Probably.
true.
Yeah.
So, cut that. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I really hope you're wrong, Quinn. That things are not repeating themselves. I really hope they find her soon. And at that, all of you hear a car on the outside, engine being switched off or turned off, door opening, closing, and then you can see Alex walking up the driveway, and then the doorbell rings as he walks in, and he looks around and sort of trying to find you.
Mila is standing by the door, so she'll pop her head out and just, "Hey, we're back here."
Okay. So where Alex looked pretty shaken when you saw him last at the medical center, he looks pretty fucked up at this point. His eyes are still red, and he looks really pale. And Mila, you would notice that when he comes in, there's also a very distinct whiff of cigarette smoke. Sort of
She'll hand him her tea. And she'll hand her relaxation tea to him, her calming tea. Here.
Yeah, he absentmindedly grabs the mug and just holds on to it. Sort of seems to be a nice distraction, because it smells nice and it's warm, and Grandma Dubs come. Sit down, dear. Come on. Have a chair. Sit down. What is happening? Can we do anything? And so he sits down, sort of just stares into the mug and just shakes his head and just, I don't know how nobody understands how she could have, like, my mom was there the whole time, but she fell asleep at some point. My dad had to go talk to Chad, and I went home, get some stuff for Hannah, and then I don't know. They don't understand. She couldn't have. It doesn't make any sense. He shouldn't have been able to leave the hospital. I don't know. He keeps repeating that. Just I don't know.
Dubs, tell him what you saw.
Yeah, I saw her standing outside in her hospital gown.
Wait, but Mila, you said she wasn't here.
She wasn't. Just
she
listen.
Wasn't here for long. She appeared, literally appeared. Didn't walk up here humming a tune or anything, or pull up on the driveway. Boom, there she was, holding her box, being real creepy.
Box? I don't understand.
A wooden box with some letters on it. RTNFL. I don't know what that could be. I don't know if that's your family photos, what have you. She said, "I am me," and "I am 3," and then she disappeared. Literally disappeared.
I went outside and checked. She was nowhere to be found.
We all saw it.
We all saw it.
And he looks sort of incredulously from one to the next, sort of waiting for someone to say, that you're just joking, and Grandma Dubs reaches over and squeezes his shoulder. This is crazy.
This whole I am me and I am 3 thing. Sunflower tried to go to town himself. Hannah is evaporating all over town with a fancy wooden box. Are we looking for a third person as well? Is the spook concentrating around 3 people? And is there anyone else missing? Or doing
Well,
wild stuff?
Question.
I had some weird stuff pop up on my back.
That does not make me feel more comfortable.
No, you don't feel comfortable. Really? Tell me, Quinn, how uncomfortable you feel right now.
And Alex, as if he didn't really hear anything that you just said, he looks at you and says, that you said she was holding a box. What kind of? And by the way, I think I didn't really describe it very well. It just looked just very plain. It wasn't very big. It was maybe just like 2 inches high, maybe 2.5, and it's almost like from size-wise like a chocolate box, but just a bit higher, and just made of dark wood. But for some reason, Dubs, even though she stood quite a few
Yards
10,
away.
15,
Yeah.
10, 15 feet away, you just very distinctly saw the carved letters into it.
With all the talk about putting your whole heart into it, how does the box's dimensions compare against, say, a human heart? Just
if you squeeze it a little, it might fit in there.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
slam the lid on it.
But basically, Dubs, Alex asks you to describe it, but I basically just took the description away because I realized I haven't really just described the box. And then Alex says, I think I went into Hannah's room like earlier, right? Because I wanted to get some of her clothes. I didn't send anybody. I promise.
Sorry, roommate.
Sorry, they came too early, Rem. They were supposed to show up in like half an hour. But anyway, Alex says, so when I went into Hannah's room earlier, no wait, it wasn't today. It wasn't today. It was already a few days ago. What day is it? It's a Friday, right? So she went, I don't know. I think it was on Tuesday. She went hiking, and I needed to just take a book back, because we were sharing it, and I think I saw. Maybe I'm just imagining things now, but I think I saw like a box on her nightstand that fits the description. But honestly, I'm not sure if I can trust my own eyes anymore at this point. And Grandma Dub says, take a sip of the tea, dear. Just a little bit, and Alex slowly begins to sip the tea.
If you're going home at any point after you leave us, could you check to see if it's still there?
Yeah. Yeah, I will do that. So there's this thing that my dad's been talking about with the deputies, and do you guys remember this high school party? Like, I think we talked about it at school at some point. Like, somebody brought it up, like in the 70s. There was this party of high school kids, and people collapsed, and then this boy turned up dead, and his voice begins to shake. And
what did your dad say about that?
Well, they just saw it was weirdly similar, the way everybody collapsed, but then it looked like maybe somebody had added drugs, had slipped people drugs, but then nothing turning up, like, blood samples coming back perfectly fine and whatnot. So they're looking for Hannah now, and
Dubs is going to snatch up a piece of notebook paper, and in his little bit of panic, he's going to kind of look over to Quinn and say, "Hang on a minute. In your search, this that Eliza Carpenter girl, what happened to her? How did she die? Do you remember?"
Which one now?
There's Adam Evans,
Yep.
killed supposedly by Mountain Lion. Then Eliza Carpenter died sometime later, and David Baker disappeared. How did Eliza Carpenter die? Suicide?
I don't actually know.
Figure that out.
Can I Google it real quick while they're?
Yeah. I literally checked the notes. It just says died.
Yeah, mine says she died
Yeah.
later. That was my notes too.
I didn't get that detail either. But Leia has been still holding Quinn's hand, and she kind of tugs him down onto the couch next to her.
Yeah, I think Quinn is grateful for the distraction from his own brain.
So Mila, you're looking for more information on how Eliza died?
Yeah.
Then roll me a search, please. And if anybody want to, you can either help her if you're sort of looking over her shoulder and also looking at the screen, or you can make your independent search. Then you would just roll search yourself.
And it's just a 2d6, right?
Plus senses. And so you took.
You're out of data.
And you even so you have.
My phone's upside down. She was just so out of it that her phone's upside down.
You're on a rotary phone. How do you work this thing?
And you can, Mila, you can cross off one of your -1 penalties from the two messed up witnessing and
so I get a 1. Got it.
So you.
She drops her phone in the tea. She's drying it.
Yeah, all you can. I don't know. You don't know if it is because. There simply isn't much more information out there, or because you're just too shaken and too confused with everything that has been going on. But the only entries you find online, it just says that Eliza Carpenter, and then in parentheses her age, which was 17, and that she died in April 75, and that just things like when she was buried and yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
She's like, I got nothing. She just throws her phone on the table.
All right. Yeah, Dubs, he's gonna kind of like draw like a little chart on this paper and say, if some events are happening again, we have 3 people who got fucked up those years ago. 1 vanished from town, David Baker, and we happen to have somebody right now who is starting to vanish from town. If Eliza Carpenter ended up committing suicide, well, we have a guy who's about to dig out his own heart and commit suicide, which leaves Adam Evans mauled to death by a mountain lion.
And you have scratches on your back.
Yeah. Just...
I don't think he was actually mauled to death by a mountain lion.
I don't either, but I don't like the way it happened. I don't like what's happening to me right now.
Hextra, do you have anything that you can put on him to keep things away from him, whether it be spirits, bad juju? I don't really know. But this might be happening again.
Quinn kind of just quietly says, how is this a conversation we're having in 20 goddamn 19... 16.
I know, this is so weird.
15.
Without
50.
without missing a beat, Gromadaps begins nodding and saying, "Yes, I will get right to it. I mean, that's why I said I would feel a little bit better if you stayed here over the night, and then tomorrow I think, I don't know, we should probably talk to the sheriff, or
Maybe we should talk to your dad. And she looks at Alex. If he believes us and he's asking questions about that, maybe he knows things that could help.
yeah, I don't know. My dad has always been really, I mean, you know him, he's, you know, pretty open-minded in general, but not when it comes to stuff like that. I can try. And he takes another sip of the tea and then actually gets up. Yeah, I will, but I will ask him. I will. God, I don't even know how to. I guess I'm just gonna tell him what happened here, and then actually and he takes out his phone. I'm going to, before I leave, I'm going to call him and just in case ask him that they should also send people around in this area. Try and look for her, you know, just at the
And
offhand chance that
maybe keep someone with the band member. If he's the third person and we're here with Dubs, just to watch him, you know.
Okay, yeah, I will let them, yes, I will let them know. And he nods, just looks at all of you and sort of nods, and then leaves the cafe, and then as he walks back to his car, you can see him make a call on his phone.
She's gonna, there's this thing where you can send your location to people. She's gonna send her location to him and request it, like, through the phone app.
To Alex?
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
just in case.
It takes a minute or so. And then, is that something, because I avoid using location services, that he would then be able to sort of confirm and send back? So send his...
Yeah, so it's kind of like, if
so
you like, you can request or send, so just so we know where each other are if we open the app. And you can see that you can see when the person sees that you're, you know what I mean?
Okay, but are you able to sort of also, is it like a GPS then?
Yeah,
like you can
yeah.
track
It's
the phone?
if your phone is on, it tracks just the phone. If it's on
Gotcha,
the person,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it takes a minute or so, but then before you hear the car leave, you get the message back that he sort of confirmed, and then
Okay.
also shared.
Quick question. How did we get here? Like, did I drive? Quick question. Did we decide that?
I had my truck.
I was gonna say Mila had a truck.
That's right. I was thinking if we had my truck, I was going to go get some of my tools and be like, "Oh, strapping up." Don't know what's going to happen, but nah.
I'm gonna fight ghosts with saws.
Heck yeah, that's how you do it. Ghost cougars.
Go saws. Ghost cougars.
Dubs walking back from his truck carrying a hacksaw. Trees haunted. What? Trees haunted.
And pesticide in the other hand.
Yeah. They're made of gas.
They're made of gas.
Spray it and light it.
Oh, that's great.
Oh man.
And so yeah, you still have the napkin on the table with the letters and the sentence, and then the true primer.
I think with the letters on the table, I think Leia's, you know, she's kind of sitting there and she's holding Quinn's hand and she's kind of leaning on his shoulder, but she's staring at these letters and she's sort of, you know, trying to see if she can make any sense of them.
Yes. So okay. let's see. What would make sense for that to roll? I would say.
Mine?
Yeah, I would say just there's no specific move for sort of just deciphering things, so just roll me plus mind.
Okay. Oh no. That's a 1 and a 5.
It's a 7.
Makes it 7.
Sort of you're playing around with it, you're thinking NFL, no, definitely not. RT retweet, no. Florida, no. Tennessee, no. Sort of you're sort of moving
Yeah, all
the
the
letters
typical
around.
stuff.
Fart, FRT doesn't. No, but you're not getting anywhere with that.
Okay, so she just looks like she's sitting there, concentrating, but looking a little frustrated.
Yeah. And so again, just as a reminder, so the true crimer that was, not sure if you caught that, but that was the name of the website and the podcast of that person who pissed off people about 10 years ago.
I was going to ask, does she live in town?
You don't know.
Can I Google it?
Just have the...
Can I have someone else Google it? Guys, my phone's dying. Can somebody Google where this woman lives? Because maybe we could go talk to her. I mean, she did all this research. She's probably an expert, right?
I mean...
Yeah, whoever
that?
wants to just take a sort of Google a true crime and then go to the website and I would say just roll me search and then I can tell you how much info you extract or get from her website by just.
This could be one of those...
am okay at this.
Whoever wants to can do it, or you can roll for help again if.
I'm happy
Leia, for
to
example, if you
search.
I could look over your shoulder and
Yeah,
help.
how can I help Quinn?
So
Because
let-
I'm
yeah,
already
so-
there.
Right, so you can just roll plus Quinn, yes. Basically, you roll plus Quinn because you roll 2d6 plus the HX that you have with Quinn. I don't know.
Okay. What do I have with him right now? +1.
Can I take a look at Dubs' scratches?
Yeah, sure.
And take another picture of it, see if it's getting any worse than the original picture?
Mm-hmm.
Hope
So
that helps.
that's another
Okay,
+1.
so, yes, exactly. Whatever you roll now, you can add a +1.
Whoo!
So
Needed that.
8.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's a 7 to 9 on a search. I am successful, but I miss. I have to choose one.
Let's see.
I mean, it's difficult to break or damage this lady's website.
Yeah, you leave your IP address behind.
Yeah,
That might not really fit too well, but that's fine. I can just tell
I guess
you.
it's just that, like, echoing through, I don't know, some nonsense bullshit. The ghosts know where we're going.
Well, actually.
Or do you accidentally load up something really embarrassing on your phone first?
You posted Twitter. You're like, how to find lady where people got killed, and she like whatever you searched goes.
I accidentally flipped to this lady's Instagram and like a post from 2012. It's like, no.
Now she thinks I like her.
Like all of them, real quick, so she doesn't know which one it was that you liked at first.
I mean, yeah, I'll take the unwanted attention option, and Petra, I turn it over to you as our fabulous MC to tell me in what awful way I get screwed.
Yeah, I would say that. So as you're tippy-tapping around, jumping through from one side to the next on the website, because you're also still shaken up, all your jokes withstanding, or if it is any indication, the more jokes you make, the worse you probably feel on the inside. So let's say you do. Let's say you do actually accidentally leave. She does have a under each of her. So it's a website. There's just info about her, but there's also block updates, and you accidentally leave a comment when you were like, oh no, fuck no, let me delete it, shit. And then it's just nonsense, but yeah, you left a trace there. If it has any consequences, we'll find out later. But so you find out that she lives one state over, and that so you see that she specializes, or at least it seems has been specializing in cases of true crime where, according to the rumors, supernatural things are involved. And you do actually very quickly find an own entry about the Adam Evans case, and
her long-held ambition to appear on Ghost Hunters.
To your I want to have something less pretentious to say, to your chagrin, to your disappointment, that's what I was looking for. But also to your chagrin, you don't find any further information than what you already found out, but there is at some point, or the entrance, it ends with the sentence, I had more information, but unfortunately I had to take it off the website, and take it off the website, it's underlined.
Right, okay. Does she have a business email? Can I be like,
yes,
hey,
yeah.
true crime hot tips at gmail.com.
Leia, what did you have a help aid? What does the time say? Okay. So Leia, you see, you read over his shoulder, and the whole, the underlined thing, it looks like a link to you.
You should. I just kind of lean over and touch the link.
Yeah.
People touching my phone.
And then Microsoft Outlook opens automatically.
God, there's an interface I'm sure I'm familiar with. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm. God.
Just ask her about it. It's okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing, because I'm terrible at the persuade move, because it relies on.
I can do. Do you want me to help you?
I mean, yeah. If it's like you feel like writing an email trying to convince a conspiracy theorist lady to give us all her research notes. Because I don't even know where to start.
I feel like if anyone can do it, it's Leia.
Yeah, I can do that. And she just kind of cracks her knuckles and gets the phone. I actually have.
You have a fancy version?
I have the never at a loss for words ability. Your passionate fight for the things you care about has made you an excellent negotiator and debater. Add +1 when you try to persuade someone who is of your age or older. So she will present a very compelling case as to why we should be shared with, I guess.
Yeah, and then you can just roll for that move.
Okay.
And then we'll see what happens.
All right, so what would that? So persuasion is which one?
Persuasion is mind.
All right.
Unless it says, wait, let me double check the move.
I just cut and pasted the move. It didn't say, so because I think it depends on like how you're persuading the person.
But you get to add.
Oh right, so +1 to that.
Yeah, an 11. So that's a big success.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sweet.
what exactly? Oh, by the way, the name. Completely forgot. The name of the lady behind the true crimer is Abigail Carlisle.
I'll tell everybody that, of course.
Yeah, and so Leia, what are you writing to her? In summary.
Well, I think I'd ask everybody. Do you guys want me to tell her the truth?
So sorry. What what I can tell you, Leia and Quinn, looking through the website, you do get the feeling that Abigail, in general, is very open to the possibility of paranormal things being out there. But she's also a skeptic. Like she doesn't seem to be someone who, if something goes bump in the dark, she immediately believes that it's a ghost. But she definitely believes that there's more out there than we are aware. But she wants facts and she wants proof.
I think that's kind of where Leia is too. I think she's sort of in that same sort of mindset, so she can approach Abigail the same way, in the sense that she's like, we are witnessing and experiencing some strange things. We have some evidence. We've had some firsthand experiences, but we really don't know what to make of it. We don't know what to. We could really use some research. We'd really like to look this up, and if there's anything you could do to help us, or maybe, we could trade some information with you on these things, and maybe we can get to the bottom of like what's really going on. Kind of a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
If Leia asked, like, if she should add anything, I would say maybe ask if we could do like a video call so that we don't waste time driving there, especially since it's kind of late.
Exactly.
I would tell her it's happening again and that we need help, because that'll probably pique her interest.
Yeah, I'll mention, a lot of our experiences seem to have a lot of similarities to what happened back then.
What contact information are you giving her?
Well, it's off Quinn's phone, so I'll say you can contact us at this email, and then I'll give like my number, and let them know that we're at the cafe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And then she'll hand the phone back to Quinn.
And Grandma Dubs, in the meantime, she has gone off and actually went into the kitchen, and she's walking around and sometimes coming back into the cafe and snipping parts of her plants and stuffing them into a small leather bag. And Dubs, you know what that means. You're gonna get a nice little spell bag prepared just for you. And
I feel like he grew up as a little kid, just being like, I want to wear grandma's weird-looking pouches around my neck. And just like, it's all that kind of stuff going on.
If you need to cast any first-level spells that don't have any listed costs for the ingredients, you'll just find the components right there.
Yeah.
Mauled by Ghost Cougar wearing a stupid thing around your neck.
Now I'm going to look stupid when I die.
And
So
you
what have
also
we got here? Well, the victim looked like a moron.
And the cougar was like, oh no, hell no, you going.
like all my cougar friends are going to make fun of me.
I'll kill this.
I'm gonna get murdered by the fashion police.
Yeah.
Oh god.
You also see Grandma Dubs talking to the last few patrons that were still there at this time, very smiling at them, and you can't hear exactly what she is saying, but it becomes very clear as they're sort of beginning to look worried, and then nodding, and then grabbing their wallets. And so she's closing up early, like about half an hour early. Normally she's open until 9:30 on Fridays, but she's asking them to leave now, and then soon after she closes up behind them, turns around the sign, and yeah, locks the front door to the cafe.
Mila will text Alex, just kind of like updates, and just being like, "Hey, we found a woman who did some research into this previously. She'll send the link to the website and just be like, we're gonna try to find out what we can."
Mm-hmm. All right. So you're waiting for a reply from the true crime lady, waiting for a reply from Alex. What would you like to... Is there anything immediate that you would like to do, or should we...
She's gonna check all the windows.
A little bit?
She's gonna check all the windows. Just make sure it's...
Yeah, we definitely have a little scene where Dubs gets his spell back. And then Grandma Dubs asks Leia and Mila to help her sort of renew the wards, which are just similar little bags, but they're like little cotton bags that hang over, usually just over the entrances, but she also smokes or sages or not just sage.
That's not where I thought that was going.
Yeah.
That's for sure not where I thought that was going.
A medicinal spell bag, everybody.
You got a bad aura.
But these Cheetos taste good.
Well, okay, let's say that
These baked goods are great.
She does use incense as like her own little bundle that she makes with cedar and a little bit of sage and lavender and whatnot, and so but then she asks no, I would say no, let's do it like this. At some point as she's walking around and she's also asking you to start switching off the lights in front, so people outside know, okay, it's closed, and then you're sort of going maybe into the kitchen, and from where you can also get into Grandma Dub's apartment, which is above the store. That at some point the herbal / pungent smell of the normal incense turns slightly sweeter. And you do get the feeling that Grandma Dubs needed something else to help calm her nerves. And then she walks past Mila and she's like, if it weren't for the fact that there's a good chance that because you were at the celebration, you might have to go in for another check, I would totally offer you some.
I wasn't checked, though.
What do you mean you didn't have to? And then it's just the two of you. She just hands you.
She comes back in with a plate with, first of all, hot chocolate with an espresso shot in it. And on the plate, there's like 3 brownies, a cookie, and then there's like a little those little like tea biscuit sandwiches, like little tiny guys. She just comes back in with a plate, sits down with a bunch of blankets over her because she was asked to go up and get like blankets in case we slept on the couches down here. She just comes back with all these blankets. And that's it. She's just silent.
Grandma Dubs is not fucking around with with her herbs. Yeah, I would say you're now hunkered down in sort of... So that there are 2 rooms in the cafe. One, there's the counter, and that's facing the street, and then there's one over that's also facing the street, and then there's one room that's sort of in the back, where it's quieter and it's away from all the windows. I mean, there is a window to the back, and she comes back and she says, "Well, if you want, you can stay down here." Or I will be up in my office for several more hours and then go to bed anyway, so feel free to use my living room upstairs. Yes, just please, and she looks at Leia, Quinn, and Mila again, just let your parents know where you are, right? Not that they freak out when they hear what happened at the youth center today.
Oh yeah. I did already.
Yeah.
All right.
Imagine Quinn has sent an entirely too casual text to his parents. That they
Everything's
are not
cool.
all good. Spelt G-U-D.
All good. Quinn, could I talk to you for a sec?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And Quinn, I think I don't know what he's been. I think he doesn't really know what he's been doing to pass the last 30 minutes. It just sort of, it's an awful lot of moving around to accomplish very, very little. So he leaves behind whatever thing he's faffing with, and yeah, comes over to you.
They'll go off to another room.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I called you when I was freaking out?
I do. It was very funny right up until it was very not funny. But it all worked out, so you know.
I guess I mean we never really talked about it, and
I mean you freaked you tried some new things, and it was a little overwhelming. You don't have to be embarrassed. It's all good.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think I'm a big hypocrite or anything?
About what? With their entire life and laser focus in on it at that moment. You've done a far better job of that than most of us have. Look at me. I'm falling apart. And now there are ghosts. It turns out we don't know what life's about to throw at us. It's a whole bunch of curveballs. So yeah, you changed your mind on something.
It is. Can I give you another one?
Yeah, I think Quinn does some melodramatic, kind of, probably just the Matrix, one hand out and beckons, hit me.
She laughs and then
He'll do it.
She leans forward and kisses him.
I think his entire body language goes and then it's was not expecting that. Because of course, how does he react to any actual display of emotion than with jokes?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the silliness kind of falls away, and he's that was nice and unexpected. I don't know how to react right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
And she'll just kind of...
The door to the kitchen opens and Grandma Debs comes outside, and you're not sure if she heard anything of that. You're not sure because she doesn't show it, and she just says, "All right, please, if anything happens, just let me know, and don't hesitate to tell me."
Nothing happened. It's fine. Everything is fine.
I think it was a good thing that the espresso shots that I added to the last round were decaf. But I know it's really scary, and I.
Grandma,
yes, scary.
Thank you for everything you've done, Grandma.
Yes.
I wish I could be of more help, but
you've done so much, and I'll give her a big Grandma. I'll give her a big hug.
Yeah, she hugs you, both of you, pulls you in close, and then tomorrow, let's talk. Let's talk to the sheriff. I can only assume that he won't be really receptive to anything that might be brought brought to him tonight as he's looking for his daughter. But yeah, and then she sort of trails off and try to get some sleep, and then she walks upstairs, and then you hear a door closing. Let's quickly cut back as I let you stew in the awkwardness. Let's quickly cut over.
Could I have asked, but like when they walked away before she went to the kitchen, could I have asked her if she has any like weapons in case something happens?
Yeah, she's like a shotgun granny.
Or a rifle granny, or like nunchuck granny.
Oh, nunchuck granny, granny nunchuck.
Ooh,
Nana nunchuck.
She be Nana nunchuck.
Granny nunchuck.
Oh man.
So she's a witch, a kung fu warrior.
Okay.
She's multi-class.
To make you happy, no, she does not have real nunchucks, but I would say that she chuckles when you say, and what about like anything, like a knife, a gun, nunchucks, and she chuckles. But what did you say?
No.
Nunchuckles?
No.
Nunchuckles? Does she nunchuckle?
No.
Nah.
Don't encourage him.
No, neither that nor that. And she says, well, I'm not. If this is really, I have to admit, like with all my practices that I've followed over so many decades, to be quite honest with you, Mila, I've never encountered anything paranormal myself. It was so I'm not sure if any of this would help if it's really all about ghosts. But and then she begins rummaging in the kitchen, points at steak knives, pulls out a salt shaker or several salt shakers, and then since you said nunchucks, she walks into
Her dojo.
Yeah, no. Yes, she presses a button, and then the secret door opens, and you stand in a dojo now.
Behind one of the like witchy aesthetic bookcases moves aside, and there's like some of those sliding screen doors, and then just like a tatami mat floor hall inside. It's like, wait, what aesthetic are you going for?
No, not quite that. But she goes into like the broom closet, and she pulls out a box, and she opens it, and it looks like a bunch of Halloween themed decorations, and she pulls out a pair of like, sort of nunchucks, but they're not real. They were just props.
We'll stick to the knives. Thank you though. We just we'll hold down the fort down here. She's still feeling it, and so she's on the couch playing with the nunchucks, talking to Dubs while they're in the kitchen.
Yeah. And Dubs
Dubs'
probably like
grandma's awesome.
Yeah, I know. And Dubs might be like he's gonna be like, oh cool brownies, and he's gonna reach over and grab one and eat it. Just he's just kind of old.
You hear Mila go, "No, who's on drugs?" under her breath.
So, but loud enough that he would hear it.
Yeah.
Like pretend.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretend. So
she for sure said it loud enough he would hear it.
Do you react to that, Dubs?
Oh. He's gonna say, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care what kind of drugs it is, what kind of drugs it might not be. This is some crazy shit happening right now. Sure, let's go for it. What are these? The weeds? How many marijuanas are in this brownie?
You know what? Maybe you shouldn't. By the way, I've only ever done the weeds once, and it was also with your grandma. I don't do drugs. I know you think I do, but...
This is the first time for both of us, quote. And
Grandma would be proud. As she's just playing with the nunchucks. Like hitting yourself in the face.
They're playing Ninja Turtles around.
Yeah. What do you think they're doing in there? You think they're making more food? They should probably make more food.
Yeah, they're probably making more food. Let's cook some food. Let's make a lot of food right now.
I know she has stuff for lasagna. You want to make some lasagna?
Oh fuck yeah, lasagna! That
Oh my
sounds
God,
great.
lasagna
I
with a
love,
whole
I
tray?
love like a big tray, the whole
Oh my
thing, like
God,
10
so much
layers deep.
lasagna.
I know it's great. It's just
And then
mac
she
and
has
cheese
that
for grown-ups.
She has that salted caramel stuff too that we could put in our hot chocolate.
Oh,
And like
I've
the
never
little
thought of
straw that is like the crunchy chocolate straw, and you bite
Yes.
it as you. Oh my God,
You sip it, then you eat it.
Dubs, we gotta go.
We gotta go
Let's
right
go.
now.
She
Let's
gets
fucking
up
do
and
it.
runs into the kitchen.
I'm like running up behind her too.
Were Leia and Quinn? I think they were standing right next to the kitchen.
We run past them to the kitchen.
Yeah, fuck that. They're eating each other's faces. Let's go. Bam.
Maybe a side effect is cannibalism as she just runs fast.
Sure. Cannibal. Got it. Makes sense. It's in the letters. Speaking of letters, RTNFL. What's all that? What's that? Fentanyl? Fentanyl's that's a drug,
You know
right?
what we should do is we should make cookie cutouts of those letters, and maybe it'll help us visualize it when we eat them.
Yeah. We can see. We can hear the letters when we eat them.
Because the
And
crunch,
digest them.
maybe we'll be able to hear
That's how it
the
goes.
sound down of
Yeah.
like. So we're gonna make cookies and lasagna.
Dude, this sounds great. This sounds great, Mila.
Is what we're doing.
And we start tearing the kitchen to shreds.
Quietly. Because
Yeah.
Grandma's trying to get some grandma shit done.
Do we roll for lasagna?
Yeah, that's. No, you do not. You do not roll. Oh, actually, since I'm now waiting for Finn.
Can I roll to bake the cookies and figure out what they are? Like the letters, maybe? It actually does help us.
I mean, if you want to make cookies in the shape of.
What's this tiny bag of sugar she's
But
got
like
over
helping.
here?
But more, it's how she deals with you. No, but more we make the cookie shapes, and then as we're eating them, we're trying to think of what the letters could be. So we start writing down ideas related to like names and places of things that have happened.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we rolled for the letters yet. I think it was the two of them that were trying to.
Yeah.
Leia just stared at them and sort of in her head moved the letters around and tried to see if it made any sense.
Okay.
Any penalties or bonuses we take for smoking the devil's lettuce?
No.
As they say. Okay.
So, Mita, very quickly, did you think that the brownies were actually edibles? And if so, I don't think. I mean, okay,
I don't think they were. I'm messing with Dubs. He's not high. He's just hyped up on a hype train, thinking he is.
That's good.
No,
That's
she
good.
knows. She picked them off the counter for customers and then went in. She just doesn't care. And he's all aboard, so she's just gonna keep on going.
Wonderful. So Quinn, real quickly, as you were trying to figure out how to react to the fact that Leia just unexpectedly kissed you, first Grandma Dubs came, walked out and then walked upstairs, and then you had a second or maybe 2 seconds for yourself again, staring awkwardly at each other before you heard fast feet approaching and Dubs and Mila run out of the room and into the kitchen, and then you hear wild rummaging inside the kitchen.
And wild theories.
Yeah, they're not exactly speaking quietly, so you definitely hear. So as the two of you are staring at each other, you hear Dubs and Mila sprouting wild theories.
Okay. Quinn. I think he he does a very long out breath. Right. If we survive till tomorrow, we're picking this conversation up. Right now, we have ghosts to fight and idiots to save. He spins around and goes, so what are the insane theories I am overhearing?
We baked cookies first. We you put lasagna together, it's easy, but then you put it in the oven. So while it's in the oven, we're baking the cookies, right?
Cookies.
And then we're cutting them into the shapes of letters because she's got she does kids' birthdays or whatever and has their whatever. So we're like doing like the cookie cutter thing with the letters and trying to spell different things out, or like we have each of the cookies and then we have we wrote things that start with that letter for like locations. So like, you know,
We're making tummy words.
yes, I like that better.
Mm.
But there's like flour flying everywhere. We're just like, I've got to make more letter cookies because maybe if we eat them, and then if you eat them, we're not going to have anything to look at while we're thinking about this.
But only these letters, not the others. Fuck those letters. We don't need them.
Fuck those
No
letters.
vowels. No vowels.
I
Not
like that
bang
you're
any
cursing
vowels,
now.
Pat.
I like this.
Not say Jack. Vanna White. Let's see what we can make. And I go and fucking
We leave them
crazy.
unsupervised for 10 minutes.
Mila, you got a text. I don't know how cookie dough dirtied your fingers are right now, but you did get a text.
Oh yeah, she's messing this phone up. This phone's gonna be covered in cookie dough.
And it's from Alex. And it says just very briefly, the box is gone. And then in a separate text it says, Dad doesn't believe me. Says basically something to the effect that the sheriff doesn't believe anything of what you said, especially because Quinn and Dubs were among the people who had the seizure, and adds something like wouldn't hold up in court, LOL.
Is there like a window between the kitchen and the front counter, or is it like a whole wall?
There's a whole wall.
Okay, so she'll peek around into the other room. Just so you know, the sheriff thinks we're all crazy and doesn't believe us. His dad's of no help, and Alex said the box is gone, which we knew because she was holding it. And then she pops back into the kitchen and goes, right, more R's.
More R's. Gotta get them in there. R's. It's gonna be like...
It's gonna be a pirate vessel up in this bitch.
So let's say...
I just kind of stand at the back on the table with a few of these cookie letters, just sort of...
He's like, is this what it's like to be high? Mm-hmm. He's just on a caffeine rush, most likely. And he's really stressed out.
So let's say we cut back to about... how long does it take for lasagna to be well done? An hour, yeah. We cut back an hour, jump an hour ahead, so it's about... It's 10, so it's pretty late. But the lasagna is done, and it's not half bad. So whoever is hungry actually at this point. So I would say you've all just grabbed a piece of lasagna and then cookies, if it actually turned out to be cookies. And you're all sitting in a little circle in that room on the couches, quietly steaming lasagna on your laps.
Have you ever seen? Well, everyone has seen it. You see like the murder boards when people are trying to figure out like to murder someone. They have all like the little tie, like string tied to like a pin, and then it's that but with cookie crumbs everywhere and cookies. She wrote out a bunch of like words that start with the letters. Can I roll anything to see if maybe anything that I've written down from this woman's blog, like, you know, places of importance, people's names who died, people who were there. Like, I write down for every letter that matches up to something in her blog or that we've seen, I write it down.
Yeah, roll me just straight plus mind.
And are you going to help, Dubs, because you were helping?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm helping.
That's a 10.
Ooh.
So Dubs, sorry, I minimized the window. Did you help?
Yes, I'm helping her by feeding her lasagna while she thinks.
Done.
So she can concentrate.
Okay, that fits. So here's the thing.
So well.
There's nothing that matches. But Mila, at some time, so none of the names that you wrote down, like the initials, places, like anything that has. I assume you're mainly looking on her site that is about the Adam Evans case.
Yeah.
So you write down everything, like names of people and places, but nothing matches. And at some point, you're so frustrated and whatnot that you also just Google it, the letters, and you do notice that the true crimer, so the Adam Evans article, is one of the hits if you just enter the letters, even though you did not find the letters themselves on the website anywhere.
Okay.
Oh, that seems good and not bad at all.
Can I see why it's related? Like, usually to be like, this is part of the website, or an author of another thing wrote this. You know what I mean?
How well? It depends on how knowledgeable are you with how, like, again, there, if you make like a search, if you do, what is that, Control F or whatever, the words or the string of letters does not show up. But if any of you are somewhat knowledgeable with coding, you can only assume that it was entered in the like what's it called again, the text that you can add to the HTML text that you can add to a website, like that is basically hidden information somewhere on the website code. Yeah, exactly, thank you, that's the word I was looking for.
She wouldn't know how to do that, but she could probably look that up. Seeing that it's not in there, she'd be like, how do I find text that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want me to roll to see if I can?
No, it's fine. I would say that either yourself or maybe you're just mumbling as you're looking, and so maybe together you just figure out, maybe it's somewhere on the website, but it's not visible to us. Leia, very quickly, which contact information did you give the true crime lady again? It was your phone number?
My phone number, Quinn's phone number, and the coffee shop.
Okay.
She better not come over here. I got nunchucks.
So in the meantime, what are you doing? Are you just silently sitting together eating the lasagna?
Well, yeah, she's kind of sitting quietly, and she's occasionally checking her phone. I think she's sort of also been, she's been looking stuff up, trying to help with the research.
Mm-hmm. And then the others, what are you doing? Are you just sitting in silence, or Quinn, are you able to do that?
Quinn is ineffectually flitting from like checking in on the different things that are happening, and like he'll kind of hover around. He also seems to, every time he comes through, like steal a little bit more lasagna from the cooking duo, but he'll be there for a little bit, then he'll go over to Leia and sort of ask how her search is doing, and then bounce back and bounce back and bounce back, and he doesn't really like settle for very long in either place, so he's actually just kind of distracting everybody.
Does it go on anybody's nerves that Quinn is constantly going inside outside like the cat?
Sit down.
And as there's a moment where all of you sit together, where there's an actual moment of silence, and you don't have to answer that, but I would just like to ask you to just think about how you are doing, as only 24 hours ago, all you had was your own private worries, whatever that might be, and you were thinking ahead to the youth center opening and maybe feeling a little bit awkward or nervous about the fact that for the first time this summer, all of you were gathered or coming together again, knowing that sort of the last ties that kept you together are in the process of being severed as life is happening. And there's this thing that's called becoming an adult, even though nobody can tell you what the fuck that actually means. And you had all your little, very normal, but still very stressful hopes, things you wanted to do. But now, you're sitting all together, you have seen things, you have heard things, and all the crazy shit. And then later your phone rings.
She'll kind of snap out of her thoughts for a second. And, oh, hello?
So it's a number that you do not know.
Huh. Okay. She'll just answer it.
Mm-hmm. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Is this Leia?
Yeah?
Hi, this is Abigail.
Oh,
Abigail Carlisle.
it's that lady from the website.
And it sounds like she is close to like an interstate. Or you hear like a lot of cars, like lots of traffic in the background. So maybe she's at the gas station or somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got my email.
Yes, I did, and I first thought that, well, frankly, I didn't believe it, because every now and then somebody, just tries to get my attention.
Of course.
But then I found out that apparently there's actually really seems to be something going on, and I'm not in the state right now.
Okay.
But I sent you something.
Oh, great.
To the email address that you gave me.
Thanks.
Just don't tell anybody you got it from me.
Of course.
And then, who am I kidding? They'll probably find out anyway. Also, if your friend, sorry, I have to double check real quick. Did you tell her everything that happened and that you've seen, and like including the scratches and the heart carving and whatnot?
Do you think I would have? Do you guys would you guys have wanted me to put in that information, even just like in loose sort of point form?
I don't have a problem with it. I guess the only thing is like we wouldn't want her thinking we're crazy people.
Yeah.
So that's probably like we shouldn't tell her all this stuff because she'll think we're out of our brains.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess how much did we omit in order to not sound reasonable?
Yeah, I probably would have given her like a loose overview.
Yeah.
Of a couple of things.
Okay.
Keeping our we keep hallucinating to a minimum, and just saying there have been reports of hallucinations. And people injuring themselves and all this.
By us, for sure. But I will mention like the self-harm thing, and that I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
That we straight up saw that.
Yeah, and she says, okay, well, really sounds like it has been set loose again. So listen,
Set loose?
If someone has already been marked, and if you happen to know that person.
Yes, and I look up at Dubs.
Make sure that they are under supervision. Because there is a chance that they will soon not be themselves any longer. Like, this Artenfell is not something you can fuck around with. And to be honest, I will see if there's someone I can send around.
Please do.
So the other thing, and you hear her mumbling something that's not meant for you, sort of answering to somebody else. Yeah. One of those as well. And then you hear cash register. And then she says, also, you should make sure that the people who are marked, they shouldn't be too close together. And but you will find everything else in the email. I will get back in touch as soon as I can, but I have to make some calls.
Okay.
All right, talk to you later. And then she hangs up.
And she'll tell everybody what, she'll sort of repeat everything that she heard. And she's pretty sure, like, Grandma would have a printer around, so she sets off that email to print.
Yeah, you would have to go up into her office, but she's
she'll
still
go
awake,
up.
and she will happily allow you to print it. Do you fill her in?
Yeah. I'll tell Grandma everything, and I'll let her see the email.
Okay. And yeah, she actually starts looking a little bit scared at this moment, and she looks and she says, "Do you think maybe I should call the sheriff right now? But they're all looking for Hannah.
I wouldn't maybe call anybody right now. We don't have anything concrete."
Well, just in case. And she goes into her bedroom. You just hear her rummaging for a second, and then she comes out and she actually carries a rifle and loads it. It says again, if we're dealing with if it's ghost, I'm not sure if this is any helpful, but you better believe that I will not let anything happen to any of you, or my Warwick, or Quinn, or Mila, or... I'm ready, and I think I need a schnapps now. And she goes to her living room and just starts pouring herself
I just want to say that Quinn called it in chat.
Mm-hmm.
I bet she comes back with a gun. Ah! Your face.
Just like love this old lady wandering around with a gun and a glass of alcohol. That's making me feel great right now.
I mean, I feel pretty good about it.
That's every other household down in Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's really funny that Debs has turned out to be such a no, say no to drugs kind of, while being babysitted by
drugs and guns.
I mean,
not this house.
Although I don't think that Grandma Debs would ever. Like she had very little issues offering Mila to take a drag, but she would not do that with Debs. She knows how sensitive he is.
Mila knows that. That's why she kind of let him on that he was taking.
So yeah. Anyway, Leia, you printed it out. It's you can see that it's the first half is the original entry, and this is already quite long because it starts with a summary of everything that was on the media and what other true crime like armchair investigators found out. But then on the last page, there's more stuff. So in total, you have like 4 or 5 pages, and then the last page is new. Do you want to read it before you go back downstairs?
Well, no, she wants to come down and like share it with everybody. She wants everybody to read it together.
Mila's putting a bunch more food on the plate for Quinn because he's so skinny.
I think Quinn has ever has stopped eating since we got here. Of like, so how do you always have some amount of food? But yeah. Oh dear. Both Quinn and Finbar are slightly like, I'm not sure what to do right now.
So Leia comes back down with the email.
And she's gonna, she'll read it out and share it.
Yeah. So in this new paragraph, it says that Abigail says that while she was investigating in Woodlake herself about 10 years ago, she was also interviewing locals, but she was also talking to people who officially were, so they allegedly were just like police, like detectives, but she didn't believe them. She got the feeling that they were definitely not working for any kind of official agency, because they were asking really weird questions, a little bit leaning too much into all the weird rumors that had evolved and developed around the whole Adam Evans case. What really happened? Was he really mauled by a mountain lion? And then Mila, what you said, that the rumor that allegedly where he died was at this old house in the middle of the forest, that for ages now, as long as you can remember, like your parents always told you, you do not go there, and it's kind of cordoned off, but for some reason nobody could have been bothered so far to simply take it down, because really it's dangerous to go there because it's half sunken in. It has a basement, right, and the floors are anyway. So outside there's this patch of grass that's brown all year round, and there's this rumor that this is where Adam really died. And then so she apparently tracked or followed these two people, and through listening in on them, sort of spying on them, but then also doing some research herself. The one thing that she ended up finding was information about a bank robbery, and as you read that, you go like, okay, a bank robbery that happened 1917 in Amara, and you all know that it's a town that's not much bigger than Woodlake. It's about 2-3 hours away. And apparently in 1917 there was a big bank robbery. And as Leia reads it, you can probably hear the confusion now. Like, why is this relevant? Because it talks about 3 people robbing a bank, and there was a hostage situation going on for hours and hours on end, probably close to 24 hours. But at some point, the police, they heard shots coming from the inside and screams. And what the hostages later on reported was that the behavior of the 3 bank robbers became stranger and stranger with each hour, and they started turning on each other and talking really strangely and saying things like, well, but I have to put all of my soul and my heart into it, otherwise it's not going to work. And that eventually they started killing each other. Like, one just downright stabbed one of the other persons, the other shot them. And it was 2 men and 1 woman, and their names were Arthur, and then in parentheses, in quotation marks, Arthur Art McCreary, Anne Dubois, and Felix Goldstein. So again, Art McCreary, Anne Dubois, and Felix Goldstein. And that is what apparently the true crime lady found, like in archives and whatnot. But this additional entry, it ended with her overhearing a discussion between these two alleged agents, saying that Artenfell wasn't a demon that you could joke around with, and that something had to be done to seal him away for good.
So the name Artenfell combined with our letters on our box.
Dislike. Oh, so I think Quiz like, so a demon.
It's not a ghost.
Cool.
Mm-mm.
I wonder if maybe it's like angry spirits and maybe they need to be put to rest or something? If they keep making this happen in threes?
Yes. Are you suggesting we go check out this creepy ass shack
Not
that's
at
talking
night.
about? Yeah, good. Okay, good.
Yes, but not at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Bright and
I don't
shiny.
have a death wish.
So, I wonder if the 3 people and 3 scratches, if that all, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's another one of these little connection charts in our little yarn list of.
She's like, "Oh, I already put it." And you
Oh,
look
yeah.
at you look at one of the murder board things, and you lift up the picture of Dubs because it's like the 3 people like little stick figures that I drew, and you lift it up, and it just says "sketchy claw marks," and there's like 3 lines. Oh, it's in
Sketchy
here. See,
scratches.
yeah, sketchy.
Oh,
scratches.
cool. Okay, cool. Nice. Very
No,
nice.
you're in
You
there,
documented
yeah.
it well.
Okay. If we're gonna go toward the bad thing
Mm-hmm.
and not far away from the bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we should just get some sleep. And then when there's a dawn happens, when there's sunshine, we'll give it a take a crack at it. But
Yeah.
So-
I agree, but we should probably finish this lasagna or wrap it up.
and then somebody should probably stay awake to keep an eye on him.
Yeah. Someone keep an eye on me. And let's finish this up. Fridges are for quitters.
So I'll take the first shift. We'll sleep in shifts. Dubs, you could sleep whenever you want. We don't trust you because you're probably possessed or something. But we can split the rest of this lasagna first.
If I eat any more of that, I'm never sleeping again.
Well, then you could have first shift, and then you could have it as a snack when you wake up.
Fine, I will.
All right, so you finish up the lasagna. You take shift watching Dubs sleep. Dubs, which isn't creepy at all, but
It's less like actively watching him and more making sure like staying awake. So if somebody just if Dubs suddenly
Yeah.
like lurches to his feet without using any his arms and while dead level, and
Yeah.
then
Or
screaming
floats
about
or something.
yeah.
I think it's mostly just gonna be like, Dubs is asleep on one couch and I'm just sitting on another couch with a book across from him.
mm-hmm.
And the shotgun. No, I'm just kidding.
Shotgun in my lap. She's got a big heavy old book.
Okay.
So
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So I said that since this is a mini campaign, I did add the additional rule that if you sleep decently, you may heal 1 breaking point. But a lot of shit has happened, so I'm going to give you a bargain. So either you don't roll at all, and things just stay the way they are regarding your breaking points, or you roll, and if you roll a 7 or higher, you get to heal 1, If you roll a 6 or lower, you get an additional breaking point.
Can I argue or bargain again, counter bargain, that she might have gotten a better night's sleep than everyone else?
Oh, because
And me too, because I'm like super high right now.
And by that you mean you're coming down off a caffeine high.
Yeah, and I got a belly full of Italian food.
Fake caffeine high.
Also,
Well,
you're
yeah.
the only one who gets to sleep uninterrupted through the night.
Yeah.
Unless I
But
get up
I
and
thought
start
you
killing
all-
everybody.
yes.
I mean, if
Oh,
that
right.
happens,
That
but then-
escalated very quickly.
Then our breaking points are kind of the least of our worries.
Well, while that might be the case, you only took one drag, so that's not going to. It's not really that
Fine.
impactful. So again, either you leave things where they are and you keep your breaking points, or you roll 7 or higher, you heal 1 breaking point, 6 or lower, you take an additional 1.
I'll take that bargain because both of these options sound like they'd be entertaining for me.
I got a 9!
8. Fuck. I want to go low.
All right, let's see.
No, you're good.
Come on, little roll 20. You can do it.
A what or higher? 7 or higher?
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. Don't do it, Maddie.
Ooh, crazy fishmonger.
Oh,
She's reading.
boy.
What book are you reading when you go to sleep?
She accidentally picks up a Lovecraft.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this pains me so. The only one, but I mean, in a way, it kind of, maybe it even makes sense. You know, Leia, up until this point, has been the one, right, who was, aside maybe from her little recent adventure that has shaken her up a little bit, has been on a straightforward path, know what she wanted, right, and now everything comes crashing down on her. So you go up to 3 breaking points.
Yeah, I think she's feeling like, I mean, as a player, obviously, given these circumstances, Quinn would need a minute and he would need, time to think. That's rational. But teenagers don't think that way. So she's feeling like kind of rejected by him and, yeah. She feels like
Quinn's a
doesn't
fuck
feel
up,
like-
everybody.
It's that kiss that haunts her dreams. It was so moist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but she's feeling like, maybe that he didn't just say he doesn't mean that, he means, no. She's feeling very rejected.
Oh boy. So I would say all of you get in about, let's say, 11. Yeah, it's not, you don't get to sleep that long. And also, Dubs, while you are sleeping, since you rolled well, I'd say you don't have any nightmares per se.
Yeah.
But in your dreams, you do see Hannah once more.
Fuck.
In her hospital nightgown again, and holding the box. And she takes up one hand and pulls down one side, or pulls down the gown over one of her shoulders, and you see that she has 3 claw marks running over her shoulder and clavicle and down into the gown. And even though you don't in your dream you don't exchange any voices, you know that there is a third one. There has to be a third one, because only if there are 3, the competition can begin. Because there can only be one who gets their wish and finally can do whatever it is that they really, really desire. And then you wake up and the scratch marks on your shoulder burn a little bit stronger again. And before you really come to, you're thinking to yourself, I think Hannah is waiting for me. As you, Mila, I would say you're woken up at some point, and it's not yet fully bright outside. Like it's only 5 or so. You got 2 texts. One is from Brian, your 911 operator workmate, and he writes, "Not sure why I'm supposed to tell you that, but there's another person missing. Don't know the guy. David Baker from Woodland Gardens." And you know that Woodland Gardens is it's a mental facility. It's sort of a kind of assisted living situation for people who, for mental health reasons, are not able to live on their own unsupervised.
Okay. Is there...
And,
sorry, how far away is that place from us, too? Would I know?
Let's just make something up. I would say from where you are at the cafe, 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
So, sorry, you mean this facility?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 20 minutes.
Okay.
Something like that. And then the other the other text is from Alex, and it just says, "In the woods."
Can I see his location? On that app? Where is he?
Yeah, it's...
Are you gonna say in the woods?
It's... It takes a moment to load, but then it is pinpointed in the Woodlake forest, about not too far away from one of the parking lots that you know, where you can enter on several of the hiking trails.
Is it anywhere near the house that had the burnt grass, or like the dead grass?
From where the location is right now, it's still about half an hour, 40 minutes away.
Okay.
But you do know that you can, from that parking lot, you can enter onto a trail that, among other things, lead to the house.
So that's how you would go to the house if you were going to drive and park?
Come again?
That's how you would get there if you were going to drive and park somewhere?
I still didn't catch it. Sorry.
I'm sorry. So I would know that, like, if we wanted to go see the house today, that's what we would do. We would park there and walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's maybe one or two other, because all of the trailing hikes intertwine at some point, but you would know that it's one of the quickest way to get to the house.
Okay.
If you start from that parking lot.
Yeah. Yikes.
So again, it's roughly 5 in the morning.
I think she would wake everyone up and relay the information. How long ago did each of them text me that the guy escaped and that he's in the woods?
Alex's text is 2 hours old.
Okay.
And then Brian texted you like 3 hours ago.
Okay. Is his location in the map, is there a history I could check to see if he's just been walking around the woods?
It looks like he went straight ahead,
Okay.
from the parking lot straight ahead, and then it just stopped there. So that where it is.
So he's been standing in that location.
That's what you can assume.
Okay. From seeing it, yeah.
It doesn't indicate. I mean, there's minor, like he didn't walk super straight, like he, curved a little bit. I don't know how accurate actually such an app is.
No, I know what you, yeah.
He didn't walk back and forth and then around. It looked like he went from the parking lot.
Oh yeah, she's trying to see if he's been
trail.
standing in the same spot for hours or doing something weird.
Oh, so on that makes sense. So the cell phone says that it's been on the location for about an hour or so.
Oh boy. Okay. So she's going to wake everyone up. She starts rummaging through the kitchen and starting up shots of espresso for everyone. And so she kind of like, you go in, you hear her like clanking around the kitchen, just shit out as she's knocking things over and just like setting everything up. And she'll come back. Okay, we have a problem. We have two problems. Does anyone know the name of Sunflower? Starfire? Does anyone know his real name?
His Mike. His name was Mike.
Okay. So if I Google that guy's name, David, do I know anything about him? Why he's there?
Does anybody else remember David Baker?
Is he the guy who made it out?
He vanished. He disappeared from town.
For you, as Grandma says, at least for some time, and then she wasn't really aware what had happened to him. But that, yes,
Okay.
he was the third or the second friend with whom Adam Evans had left the, as far as is known, left the party.
Okay. Trying to think. She's gonna call the police station or the 911 and talk to Brian. Brian, I need you to do two things for me. I need you to send, get a message to Alex's parents that he's, and she'll look up like exactly where and take a screenshot and send it, like text it, and just be like, that's where he is. Send it to whoever needs to be sent to. It's what happened years ago is happening again. You have to get there. And before he can ask questions, she just hangs up. She's like, Alex has just been standing there for an hour. There's something wrong, and then like hangs up.
Yeah, he says, yeah, okay, and then you hang up.
Because he's just gonna be like, yeah, okay, whatever. This is funny. He just this is gonna be a dick. She knows it. She's like, nope. Good old Brian. And then she looks to the rest of the group and just says, that guy who went missing left the mental institution or the rehabilitation mental facility.
So it wasn't like a hospital or something like that. But again, it's for people who
Like a
for
group
reasons
home.
of mental health.
Yeah. Mental health facility.
Right. They can't. They're
Or just a group home, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
Where you have nurses on site and people who just know.
Yeah, they help you out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she'll tell everyone that it was him. She'll tell them relay the entire message. I'm making us espresso. We got to get out there. Alex has just been standing there for an hour or two, from what I can see.
Or his phone.
That's even worse.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Quinn's going. I'm just going to point out here, but we've got the two other people who've done a bunch of weird stuff are converging on this shack, and we want to bring the third one there. This is the thing you don't do in a horror movie, team. We're doing the plan.
Oh right. Didn't Abigail say something about not letting them get together?
Should I stay here?
You shouldn't be alone.
You should stay with
Granny's
Grandma
here.
for
Yeah.
sure. I can stay with you if you want me around.
I don't think we should split up. I know she said not to bring them together, but at least this time there'll be other people around that can help or intervene or do something.
I don't know. I'm like maybe bring them together, but
I mean, you're not like hearing or seeing anything or feeling like an impulse to go there like the other guy did.
No, I'm not. I don't feel like I am. I know I'm just
And there's still that feeling at the back of your mind, Dubs, that Hannah is waiting for you.
I do feel like I'm not being made to go there, but maybe we should go check it out. Maybe I feel like if the two converge and there's not a third, maybe knows? Maybe I'm not going to carry a weapon. I don't think you should give me any kind of weapon. If anything, you guys tote the weapons.
You're the only one talking about weapons right now. You're making me a little nervous, Dubs.
Have you seen my grandma?
Yeah, your grandma's dope. She has nunchucks.
I know.
She
has a lot of dope. And she also has a gun. We like to be armed just in case. I'm just saying.
I'm going to go get her. And Mila's going to go up and wake her up. Actually, Leia, you might be more gentle in waking her up. I've had some coffee. Also, I'm holding nunchucks.
Yeah, I'll go. And so she'll go nicely wake up Grandma.
Mila finished making the coffee and espresso shots.
Yeah, Leia, you managed to wake up Grandma Dubs in a gentle enough way that, I mean, she doesn't
shoot me?
No, she does not shoot you. Although she does have the rifle sort of leaning against the wall right next to her bed, and she goes, "Yes, what is it? Oh, Leia, did something?" And she sits up. Did something happen with Dubs? Is everything okay?
I'll explain everything. Emila really wants us to bring them together, but I don't know.
I mean, I don't, maybe Dubs shouldn't go then. He could, but on the other hand, I don't want the rest of you to go to the forest, but I also know, that you usually do what you want. Anyway, maybe we should tell the sheriff. Well, Mila already did that, right? And she sort of gets up and puts a bathrobe on, and sort of still a little bit, sort of half asleep, takes a rifle and follows you downstairs. And then sort of comes into the room, looks around, and looks at you, Dubs. How are you feeling?
I could feel better. Not going to lie, I could feel a whole lot better right now. My scratches are a little tingly. And, I'm pretty sure these other two strangers out there are marked as well.
I don't like it. I really don't like it.
Thank you.
Do you own land anywhere else where we could just take him and then not just ride this out, maybe?
No. I'm lucky that I own pretty much this whole building, but it's a store and then my apartment. That's it. I mean, we could just lock him into the pantry or the broom closet, and
Lock him in the...
I don't think we should. One, I don't think we should put him in the closet. But I don't think we should do anything that means we take our eyes off him. Because as soon as you do that with Hannah or whomever, into thin air. So whatever we do, that we should be with Dubs.
I don't think Hannah disappeared. I think whatever's doing this just wanted Dubs to see her so that it could start pulling him towards her. I don't think she was ever here. I don't even know that, her mom did fall asleep. She probably just left. So I think you're right. As long as we keep an eye on him, he won't drift off into the woods.
It's like, Quinn like flexes his hand, and you best believe it.
Keep your pimp hand strong.
Well, I don't know. We have to do something. Let's just do something, even if it makes no sense. Nothing makes any sense, so who cares?
A valid
right?
point.
Yeah, nothing matters. And she just starts drinking way more coffee.
Maybe a little nihilistic. Wasn't quite expecting that from Leia this morning, but I don't know. If we're not gonna turn tail and run across several county lines, maybe the only way out is through.
Grandma Hux, in the meantime, first has taken downed a double shot of espresso, and then started rummaging in her kitchen and the broom closet again, and she comes back. I found this. I'm so sorry, Dubs. And it's just rope. I don't know what. And at this point, you can see that yes, for all the witchiness that Grammar is holding on to normally and feels like this is empowering her, she's completely in over her head. Like she's really flustered at this point and just clutching the rifle and looking at the rope.
Yeah, Dubsy's going to I'm not mad at this decision. To be completely honest with you, I think that might be best for all of us. Can I at least be somewhere comfy? And where customers can't see me when they come in, because that would be a very hard thing to explain.
Oh, I'm not going to open today. Actually, and let me...
What if we make him a little leash?
And
we
Grandma
could take
goes,
Dubs for walkies.
Yes, Grandma goes
Hey.
and she makes a sign, something that explains due to family emergency, blah blah blah, and that she puts into or fastens it to the closed sign that hangs in the front door. So, what do you want to do? Are you all taking a drive, going into the woods? Are you splitting up?
Milo wants to tie his hands and just bring him with us on a lead. So he tries to get away,
I am both as person invested in the game, don't want to leave one person just hanging around backstage, and also as I think Quinn is in that space of the only way I can make sure that Dub's okay is if I'm constantly looking at him, and if I leave him tied up back here, I go off, that is not true, and therefore I'm nervous. As for splitting up, hell no. We're gonna use the D&D adage: we don't split the party.
Right. Yeah. Leia's just a little. She's not rude, but she's not paying a lot of attention to Quinn. And she'll help out.
Understandable.
And she'll help out stuff. Make it in the car.
We're gonna bring weapons, a few thermoses of coffee. She's gonna pack Mila's gonna pack the car with enough blankets in case we get stuck somewhere, and some water, and some cookies and brownies, and whatever lasagna's left.
Like a lighter as well could probably be nice. And
So that's what Dubs grabs.
yeah, just give me a lighter.
You're not allowed to have a weapon, but you can have a lighter.
Yeah. I can't see.
It's gonna be fine. Are you guys bringing anything else?
I think Quinn has found a hefty frying pan with a long handle. That's just has he been giving it some test swings.
Big old wok.
Yeah. Quinn knows he's not going to be any good with anything that requires finesse, so large, smacky thing is his compromise.
I think Leia doesn't really know what to do, so she's going to take an old broom handle where the handle's been broken off. Broom.
A spear.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's her concession to a weapon. She's like, mostly I'll probably just use it to walk with through the woods, but you know.
All right. So Mila, you driving?
Yeah, Mila will drive. She's also gonna bring the salt.
Okay. So you have salt. So what kind of weapons did you take? Like, did you take some knives? I mean, there is not. You know, Grandma is holding on to the rifle.
She have sewing needles?
Yeah, for sure.
Or knitting needles? Sorry.
Yeah.
She takes the knitting needles, and she was sharpening it at night.
Jesus.
All right.
When in doubt, make a shiv.
You have yes.
What did you go do?
You sharpened knitting needles, and then you could have taken some steak knives and just scissors and yeah. I don't know. Did you take the nunchucks?
Yes.
That's what she stuck the knitting needles to.
Yeah. To the ends. This is the most deadly weapon known to man.
Yes.
That's great.
All right. So as the morning sun is still about an hour away from getting up, but the sky, the early morning sky, is beginning to show some streaks of pink and light orange. And you're driving through the streets, and it's very quiet. You just see a couple of people who have to get up early. You see somebody delivering newspapers, and somebody opening a bakery shop and whatnot. And then it takes you from the cafe. It takes you about 15 minutes to get to that parking lot, and you see another car, and Mila and Dubs, you would surely recognize it. It is Alex's car.
Can I look in the back and see if there's anything in there, or if there's any like blood or anything like that?
Roll for search.
Yes, that I can do. Senses, sorry. So that is a 7.
So you go around, also look into the car. You on the back seat, you just find an empty can of Coke and Coca-Cola. I should say, not that Dubs thinks that Alex is into.
Grandma Dubs is like, nope, this is Coca-Cola.
Yep. I got real excited at first. Oh damn!
It's gonna be one of them fighting party. Oh no, okay.
But there is no blood, like and it's locked in case you checked, but you don't see any blood or anything.
Okay. She will leave something behind.
I would say what you.
Oh,
yes,
sorry.
because you leave something behind. The other thing that you would see is a bunch of clothes on the driver's on the passenger seat, seemingly a few more clothes of Hannah, and so you leave something behind.
She drops one of the 2 knitting needles by accident that's sharpened into a shiv.
All right.
It like falls out when she leans over to check under the car.
Yep. So what do you do?
she's gonna show everyone the map. If for any reason we get lost, we can't find people, we come back and we meet here.
At the parking lot? Well, I'm going wherever people drag me around, so.
True.
Who is on holding Dubs' lead?
I feel like it's Leia. The symbology there really just hits me in a great spot. The slave chain.
Yeah, she'll be very kind about it. You know, she's always asking him if he's okay.
Lumberjack.
She knows the
slave
ropes.
Leia outfit.
Oh. He starts.
Misa full of caffeine.
Speaking of Dubs' needs, Dubs, the closer you get to the parking lot or to the forest in general, the more you felt like, not your conscious thought, the same kind of, okay, there's something else sort of programming my mind right now. You're at the right spot. You're not quite there yet. But this is where you have to be, and you don't have to wait much longer anymore.
No, I don't. I don't say out loud.
I can't wait to get over there. Just being fucking weird in the back and no one hears him.
They don't even know what I'm. Oh shit! I said that out loud.
All right. What do you do from here?
Lead the way.
Yeah, I think Mila just leads the way and watches her dot get closer to his dot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's not hard to see already when you're already or still a few meters away, sort of you checking for the dot, you find Alex's phone on the trail. Sort of you've just gotten on the trail and it's lying.
She turns around. Who predicted this? Who was it? Someone earlier said, "Oh, they probably dropped their phone." And I was like, "Well, that's even worse. It was Leia!" And she points at you.
Are you telling me that the worst possible thing happened today? I can't believe it.
I mean...
Everybody roll me just plus senses.
Okay.
Spidey senses.
12!
I have Spidey senses!
2, I don't.
You're like, this rope's really tight. I wonder where Hannah is.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
I'm coming, Hannah!
I too am enlightened.
So either I'm not making things spooky enough, or this is how you cope. But if you can still laugh, I'm doing something wrong.
No, we're just dark.
We're also fucking idiots, so...
You also picked a dark group of... Yeah, that did, Rem, actually.
Yeah.
So poor Leia doesn't notice anything.
She's too distracted with her feelings.
Yeah, with her feelings, and probably also maybe anxiously looking at Dubs. I don't know. And then, but Mila, as you find Alex's phone, and you're like, damn it. And then Finbar, I would say, simply due to the brief moment that you shared with Alex was enough to, like, you like the guy, you've known him for some time, so you begin looking around too. Quinn, you first hear the sound of branches, of the rustling of branches, but also the sound of a branch breaking. And Mila, you hear it too. And it comes from further up the trail.
She pulls out a knitting needle.
Yep. The frying pan is at the ready.
What are they looking at?
She'll do like the thing where you're like,
and I think Quinn like goes, and then just whaps forward with the pan a few times.
And she'll start walking.
Okay.
The two of them are like a whole nother level.
Imagine Dubs and his two is looking at Mila and just goes, I don't know what you're trying to let me know. Like really loud.
Where'd he go?
What?
What?
I don't
So-
speak finger language.
So Mila and Quinn, you are walking ahead.
I mean, I'm like kind of trying to gesture at Leia and Dubs to move along with us, but I am also not letting Mila go alone, so I'm like,
Yes, that.
So me and Dubs will come after them, like after we realize they kind of run off.
Well, we want to go as a group, but they're just doing that to
Yeah.
each other to try to like.
Okay.
You probably see too her panicking and pointing and just doing this.
This is weird. Okay, Dubs, let's go.
Hey, yeah, let's do it. Let's do that.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
So you
Neither
continue.
do I.
So you continue walking. And you walk past the point where Quinn and Mila thought to have heard the noise of breaking branch. And you listen. You don't hear anything. You continue?
Yeah. And she's looking at her phone while they're walking, like looking up, down every few seconds to see is this the way to the house.
Yeah. I would say all of you, you've grown up here, and since your parents, when you were younger, were so adamant about do not go to this house, like automatically, all of you know exactly where the house is. Like this comes up at least even in the newspaper in the Woodlake Daily Tidings. Was that the title we gave the
Well,
newspaper
yeah,
thing?
Yeah.
That was it.
Sure.
You could have said anything just now, and I would have been
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that was it."
No, but that actually was it. I remember.
It comes up at least twice a year in the newspaper. Somebody complaining about, why hasn't the mayor yet send someone to take down this stupid house. It's just a public hazard, and so you know that you're on the way. So you move further ahead, but then you hear, all of you, the rustling noise again, and Dubs, you have this intense feeling. You're getting in a bad mood. Like what make that noise, you don't like it.
Okay.
You really don't.
Do I not like it in a fear sense or in like an aggressive sense?
Aggressive sense.
I kind of stop moving. To me, there's like a little tug at the end of Leia's rope. And I am definitely shifty-eyed looking in the direction of that noise.
Everything okay, Dubs?
And then there's more rustling. And there's actually someone stepping out from behind a tree. None of you have maybe some of you are like, something looks familiar, but it's a man, late 50s, early 60s, maybe. Of whom?
Are we looking at? Sorry, are we looking at
Yeah,
Sunflower
okay.
or
If you
the
looked
one who
him,
vanished?
yes. If you looked him up, I would say you would have.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you would have gotten somehow got into his picture. So yeah, you would recognize him as David Baker, who now stares very intently at Dubs, but again, Dubs, as you see him, your anger boils up inside you, and it's like this is a rival. Like, this is somebody who could take away everything from you, and as long as he is there, you cannot get what you really desire. But where, on the other hand, this David, while he looks straight back at you, there is a trace of desperation in his face, and he actually says, I don't really want to do this. I really don't.
Right when he finishes the sentence, I just kind of mumble, you don't have to do anything. And I charge at him with, my intention is to just clothesline him with my tied wrists and choke his ass out.
Okay, so
yeah, Leia will definitely drop the rope in surprise if he just suddenly charges. She's not expecting it.
Okay, so there's no resistance from that regard. Quinn and Mila, do you think you react fast enough to try and stop Dubs?
I mean, the thing is, like, Dubs is definitely bigger than Quinn. So the only thing I could do that would be any meaningful interaction in this scene is hit someone with this frying pan. And I don't think Quinn is ready to slap the shit out of Dubs if he starts like speaking in tongues again. But he is not prepared to assault his friend with a weapon. So I don't think Quinn does anything.
I think Mila goes to step on the rope and misses. But she'll chase after him, so she's only like a hot second behind him whenever he does whatever he's gonna do.
Okay, then I would say, so what would Mila do if she's trying to sort of hurl herself at him?
It depends what he's doing. She's just chasing him to pull him back. Pretty much just pull his shoulders, like get him off of him, because apparently he's gonna do something.
Okay,
something crazy.
I would say you roll intervene. So it's the same as interfere, not intervene. Interfere. You roll 2d6 plus HX.
Hold on one second. I have it here. I don't have any bond. I don't think I did a bond with him.
Then you just add +1.
Okay. And that was 2d6.
An 8. So, Dubs, whatever you want to do, so if you actually want to, tackle him, then basically you're trying to use violence, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You would then roll, just roll normally, use violence, and then you would deduct a 1 from that, since she is trying to stop you, grab your shoulders, at least, If it might... Yeah, so 5. But there are consequences to using violence.
The law will get you.
Bad boys, bad boys.
So you then had a miss, and on a miss you have to pick from 2 things. You take things too far, or you lose the trust of one of your friends and they mark HX -1 with you, or you injure yourself, mark 1 harm, or you accidentally hurt someone else and they take 1 harm.
We'll say that Mila gets in my way, and maybe she tries to grab a hold of him, or she grabs hold of the rope.
She definitely managed to sort of hold onto your shoulders.
If she gets my scratch, like she ends up grabbing that part of my shoulder, and I just reflexively,
Sort of
flinch out in
nose.
pain and come back and just like clock her in the head or chest or shoulder or something, and she'll take a harm from that.
Yeah.
I want to say he like hits my nose hard enough that it bleeds.
Yes. So you take 1 harm, Mila.
Okay.
But you had been healed up right after being at the medical center. I think.
Yep. I only have 1 breaking point currently, so it's just the 1 harm.
Yeah. And then what is the second one?
Oh shit, too. I definitely think we might have some trust issues now with me and Mila after clocking her in the face. So we'll say there's a -1. I already think she's a junkie.
You did it too. So you think?
So I think.
All right. So we have.
So it'd be a 0 now to rolls with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trust broken.
Along with
if
her
it's
nose.
just 1. Let's hope not. I mean, it hurts like fuck.
She definitely thinks it's broken because she's never been
Like,
hit that hard in the nose.
Yeah, it's the pain is shooting through your face. Like it's like, you know, somebody just took a dagger and you know, pushed it up your nose, and it's bleeding a lot. Quinn and Leia, what do you do? And then as that happens, as Dubs rushes forwards, trying to bum rush this other guy, Mila trying to hold him back and actually successfully doing so, but then being hit by his elbow.
Oh dear. I mean, I was looking at the basic moves, and there is a use violence to accomplish something with brute force, which feels.
Yeah. That's the one that Dubs just used.
Oh, right, okay. Does Quinn do something really stupid?
When does it? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the issue is not the stupidity; is it too brave?
By the way, David, in all of this, as Dubs charged towards him, he evaded, and he still has this look of almost like he's torn between, you know, wanting to give into this drive of the same drive that Dubs just succumbed to, but also being really pained by the whole situation and not wanting to do it. And he actually takes charging off. He starts not back. He sort of runs off to the side, or leaves off the trail and further into the forest.
Okay. I'm going to give chase, which is a bad idea, but yeah.
Debs, what are you doing?
I am really wanting to give chase as well.
But you have a Mila on you.
I do.
Not really.
Maybe.
Like, you clocked her, like, she would be
Can
doing
I-
like this
I
and...
can't re-grapple him.
Oh, yeah.
I also got that giant rope trailing behind me and all. So.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, so
grab the rope with one hand, her hand with the other.
Okay, so David is running off. Quinn is chasing after him. Then Dubs is chasing after them as well. Mila,
Scooby-Doo.
since this is a task, so you're trying to not only sort of grab the rope pick it up from the floor or from the ground, but then also having the strength to hold on to it. Roll me push through, because this is a physically challenging task.
Okay. And she's yelling out to Leia for help, because I think she knows Leia's the only one here left. Or to...
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't want to ask Hexter.
Yes, so what is Leia doing? That would be an option if you think that she is in control of herself enough right now to go ahead and try to help Mila.
I rolled a 7.
I'll help.
Alright, roll a...
If I
So
can.
2d6 plus whatever HX you have with Mila.
I don't know.
Oh, wait.
I don't think I have
I
one.
know you had the kindergarten
Oh, that's right. Okay, so that's +1.
Oh, it's a -1, so I actually have a 6. Because I didn't take my -1. I just rolled a 2d6. So it's actually a 6 rather than a 7. I have a -1 on body.
But it's a
Ignore the
but it
last
says-
roll.
Oh,
The one
last
before
roll,
that,
okay.
because I had to see what my
Okay.
modifier was.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
But what is
Yeah, so the help.
Leia's hex with? Because if Leia's hex with Mila's +2, then this all works out fine, ish.
Yeah, you didn't.
Mine's
because you
+1
didn't-
with her.
Did you have a?
I had a
I
bond.
remember you. I don't know from which side it came from, but I remember you have the kindergarten bond. It might have been from. Might have
That
been
was
your.
with me.
Yeah.
So you have but it's only a +1, I think. With.
Yeah, just a +1.
Yeah.
And my
so
+1 doesn't do anything. It's only if you're helping, right?
Well, hold on. That would make her roll. That would still make her roll only a 6. So that's still a miss. You only start getting bonuses or penalties if you want to interfere with people. If you roll a 7 or higher.
So I failed.
Yes. So you stumble forward, trying to grab the rope, maybe step on it, but it just. Dubs is just charging forward, and he's much taller than you, and he is caught up in whatever strange possession rage he's in right now. And so first the rope just is pulled from under your shoe, and then Leia, you come along and you try to do the same thing. Leia, I would say maybe you try to grab it then, and then it sort of also ripped from your hand, and you feel some rope burn there, and so you see the 3 guys charging into the forest.
I also have to pick one. I think she hurts herself again. I feel like maybe the rope slips under her foot and she falls backwards when she tries to step on it. Like it just makes her fall.
Humila, so you take another. So you have two harm points.
She's got like rope burn on her leg because she fell on the end of it.
Yeah, I'll chase after them.
She looks over to Hextra. Can I have that?
Extra?
Asking about that. Doesn't she have the gun?
Yeah, but she didn't come with you.
She wouldn't give us the gun?
She wouldn't give a bunch of children a gun?
No, she just gives us drugs, okay?
Drugs, ghosts, guns. Come on. Fine. She gets up and she'll just be... I can't wait to get out of this town. And then just continues after Leia.
Okay, so Quinn, you run after David, and so again he's running sort of at a 90-degree angle to the trail at first, but then he starts curving around, and it doesn't take you long to realize that he is indeed also on the way to that house. Now the question is if Dubs is faster than Quinn.
I don't know. Dubs logs all day and does manual labor.
And I have the cheerleader background,
I
which
would
gives me a +1 body.
I would say Quinn and Dubs also roll me a push through. So 2d6 plus body.
Ocho.
Pretty sure I have a 0 there. Just let me check. Yup.
Dubs is the only athletic one in this group.
Dang it. Similar.
All right, but not by much.
There's a lot of adrenaline going on here.
So I would say Dubs, you catch up with Quinn, and then but both of you have to choose one from the same list. You either injure yourself somehow, or you accidentally hurt someone else. Dubs, I don't know if you maybe tried and push Quinn out of sort of away, or you open yourself up to more danger, or you risk the group's safety.
I mean, I have a thought. Like, how far from this ominous shack are we at this point? Because could I fall and it's down a hill and I basically just grab Dubs and roll us into this? And I don't know, that does kind of contradict his own success, but I figure like that's at least a way for Quinn to get his goal of stopping Dubs from murdering a man, but also making the situation worse.
Yes.
My thought.
It's like some Three Stooges going on right now.
Certainly.
The third stooge is my frying pan.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say, Dubs, you get what you want in that you get much closer to David. You make it past Quinn. But then, well, Quinn, the thing is, you were running after David. Like, it wasn't really your goal to. We were trying to catch up with him. It wasn't really your goal.
My general plan was, okay. It looks like Mila has this. I want to find out what's going on.
I think I've got it. Okay.
Okay.
So both of you, because you were both running after David. You both get to David, and it's really awkward, and I would not make a cool movie scene, but Quinn, as you're about to reach David, Dubs just barrels into both of you from the back, and you just, all three of you, tumble to the ground. And
Did you take a harm, or?
Yeah, either that or you hurt someone else. I mean, if you're throwing yourself onto David, it will make sense that you, although your arms, your hands are still bound, right?
Right.
But let's say
He's a big boy.
Yeah, let's say you're hurting David, because he's definitely not as burly as you are. You're hurting David a little bit. And then Quinn.
Hello.
What would you say? Which option would work for you?
Let me remind myself. I imagine that getting caught between two lightly possessed people and then going for a big old tumble hurts somewhat. So I'll mark a harm.
He's lightly possessed.
Lightly possessed. Casual possession.
Just sprinkle possession on there. Not a lot.
Yeah, you know.
Decaffeinated possession.
Yeah. Maybe it's homeopathic.
Oh, man.
Very diluted.
Organic possession.
Yeah.
All right. I'm cutting back to Leia and Mila. You're not too far behind the others, and in the distance, you see all of them the three of them tumble to the ground. It's a big mess, and you hear voices from the left, sort of from the direction of where you were coming from, and you both of you look to the left. All of you who are on the ground, you don't notice it yet, but there are several people who rush through the forest. They're not the sheriff. They're not any of the deputies. You don't know these people, but they move with purpose. There's a lady who wears her hair in braids and sort of has them pulled back, fastened on the back of her neck, wearing dark jeans and a leather jacket and boots, who is giving orders. And there are at least 6 other people, men and women. And she says, you take care of them. Go, 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 before they kill each other. And then, so 4 of these people, they rush over to the tangled mess as Quinn, Dubs, and David on the ground. And then she turns toward you, Mila, and Leia. And she's still a little bit away, but she calls over, "Don't move."
Well, you don't move either then.
What's going on? Quinn, are you okay?
Quinn, you can give sound. You can give loud.
Like it's like meant to be a thumbs up, but it comes out sideways, like emerges from the heat.
I'm okay.
Like a Terminator tooth.
And there's just a very loud, yeah.
What is going on?
And the woman is coming closer towards you, and says, she has a phone in her hand, and she says, I thought Abigail told you to not let them get together, and here you are doing exactly that.
Oh, you're the reporter.
No, I'm a friend of Abigail's.
Oh.
Let's say a friend. Well, friend. And Dubs, by the way, as you know, you managed to sort of throw yourself onto David, and as you know, in such close proximity, your scratch marks, they hurt and burn like crazy, and you are in the process of completely losing yourself to this urge of, I have to get what I desire. I deserve to get this. And if, you know, like this David, he has nothing on you. You are much stronger. And David, he actually tries to punch you. But at the same time, although you might not register it, but when you see it, that there are tears flowing down, or rolling down his cheeks. But
Okay.
before you can, I don't know, bite him again, Dubs, you are being pulled up by 2 sets of arms. Not too gently, I have to say, but not enough to take another harm.
Okay.
And you don't like it.
I don't know.
Like, what the fuck are they doing?
How dare they?
How dare they? And Quinn, as you see how these 2 really strong guys pull up Dubs, you know, holding on to his arms super tight, Dubs really loses his shit. And for a brief moment, you see that his eyes are not his eyes anymore. They have turned yellow with slitted pupils. But just for a split second, and then they're his eyes again. Why don't you roll me another Witness the Uncanny?
Sure.
For everybody?
Just me who saw Haunted Cat Friend.
Oh.
That's a 4. That's the bad number.
And that's David that happened, right?
No, Dubs.
Oh,
Dubs had
Yeah.
the demon eyes.
It's possessed by a demon cat.
So Quinn, you totally get 2 breaking points.
Sure. Hell yeah.
You have 4.
I only said 3 now.
3, because I lost 1
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
for a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I think. Unless I gained another one somewhere else.
So as 2 people are grabbing Dubs, there's 2 more people grabbing David, although he offers very little resistance. Then this woman, who hasn't yet introduced herself, orders the 2 other people, just says, move ahead, quickly. We might be already too late. I'll be right there.
I'm gonna run over and pick Quinn up off the ground.
Yeah, I think Quinn's like Oh, hey. Like, it very obviously is just
Doesn't
his
know what
mind
to
is
say.
slightly fried at this moment.
She
of-
just gives him a look like, I am exactly in the same place. And just kind of pulls him
Who
into a
are all
hug.
these people? And like he's sort of just really taking in now that like there's suddenly like 5 or 6 more people have just arrived on the scene.
I don't know. And
And-
she'll like wrap her arm around his arm, and then she'll kind of call Mila over and grab her arm, her other arm, because she's like, no, I'm holding on to
I
everybody
require
now.
comfort.
As you're doing that, Dubs is being dragged along
Let's follow.
together with David, and they're all moving into the direction of the house.
Yeah, I think seeing Dubs getting dragged off probably like snaps Quinn out of it a little bit, and he's like, hey, what are you doing with him? And starts like kind of moving after, and I think is still like he hasn't really noticed he's doing it, but like the grip on the frying pan is like tightening. His whole arm is getting very tense, ready to unleash some justice. Good content.
And Dubs, oh, kitty. And
You're
Dubs,
normal.
there, Dubs, there is a moment, because as they start dragging you off, this foreign power in your head recognizes or registers, oh yeah, getting closer to the house is actually good. Then we can get started for real.
Yeah.
So this is not so bad. And this is when you, like the real Dubs, for a moment surfaces, and you look into the faces of your friends. And what the others, what does Dubs see in your face as you lock eyes with him? For
I
a
look
brief second?
so worried. I just really want to help. I don't know what to do.
I think he sees anger in Mila because she's starting to kind of quicken. She lets go of Leia and quickens her pace to catch up with the woman to ask what's going on or what they're going to do with him.
Mm-hmm. Quinn?
I think Quinn is trying to keep one ear in that conversation, but is trying to stay close to Dubs and the two people holding him. And continues to kind of like fire. I think actually no, was like just kind of repeatedly going, what's happening, where are you taking him, so and so. But Mila seems to have a better handle on like who's in charge, so he's now just listening to that conversation. But he's still ready to throw pan. He doesn't like the answers.
So Mila, as you're trying to keep pace with that woman, she at first ignores you, but she's very quickly realizing that she's not doing herself a favor with that, because you're getting more and more angry. And so at some point she's like, we are trying to fix this. I'm not allowed to tell you much, or else I might have to kill you. Huh, joke. Or maybe not. What have you found out so far? I think Abigail filled you in.
We know
somewhat.
everything. The only thing we don't understand is how you're going to stop this.
Well, we're just gonna have ourselves a good old-fashioned exorcism.
Do you think it's spirits, souls, ghosts? Like how?
No. To be honest, we're still not 100% sure, but the consensus lies with that this Arton fell, as we have dubbed it, because we have no better name, is a demonic entity with a very sick sense of humor, who gets bored. And I don't even know how it is possible we've never had multiple possessions through one entity, but apparently it can split itself, its presence into three. And then it six these three people against each other. And it makes them believe that if they are the victor of this battle, and by victor of this battle mean if they manage to kill the others, then they will get what they desire the most. But this is bullshit, of course. This thing, whatever it is, it feeds off of people's emotion, and I guess it getting a kick out of it. And at this point, you can see the house, the forbidden house, in the distance, and Dubs, you get excited. This is good. Now the wait is finally over. And then, before she adds, before you arrive, we don't. I don't. So after the Adam Evans case, we sealed it away. Well, not me. I wasn't really old enough at that point. But our organization sealed it away, and we left the box here, and we thought that it would be at a safe enough space, or so the sheriff back then assured us, but apparently it wasn't safe enough. And then at this point, you're all close enough to see that in front of the house there are two persons.
Does it?
And as you, yep.
Does it look like someone came through this path already as we're walking up?
Like
they came from this way?
It's hard to say because it didn't rain. If you were a ranger, maybe you could tell, but this is a path where like there's a lot of hikers in this town, so I don't think you would have the skills to tell.
Okay.
But what you can all see is as you get onto the clearing, and actually at this point, the woman, she spreads out her arms, asking you and Leia and Quinn to stop. And now you can all see that in front of the house stands Hannah. On the ground next to her, on a stone, is the box. Hannah has a knife in her hand, and there's blood dripping from the knife. And then, just a few feet away, on the ground, face down, you all recognize him. It's Alex.
I think as we're walking up, when she sees the box, before she sees Alex, she's gonna say something along the lines of, to the woman who's in charge, who she was talking to while they were walking up. By the way, that box,
Yes.
maybe it's, I think there's something strange about it. It's involved in this somehow.
Oh yes, it certainly is, because that's a vessel where this demon was put into all those years ago, and then she interrupts herself as everybody gets on the clearing and onto the clearing, and she has a view of everything that's going on, sees Hannah, sees Alex, sees the box, and she says, "Oh, that explains this, although I don't understand how she would get to the box that was left with a previous sheriff."
Her father is the sheriff now.
Well, close that gap as well. And as you're now all on the clearing, Dubs again, like, this is it. Like, you really, like, you and Hannah, you look at each other, and then even David, who doesn't really want to participate, seems to be drawn in. but you're all held back. And well, Hannah isn't yet.
If David was about to bum rush Hannah, the pan will fly.
No, but Hannah is running towards David with her knife.
Oh, good.
With her knife raised. Do you do anything, Quinn? Like, there's a lot of people around you. Somebody would probably do something, but I give you the chance.
I feel Quinn is kind of on the edge a little bit at the moment, so I think he's just gonna like whack her in the face with the frying pan. Like, just like, nope, I'm done. I am done. No one is stabbing anyone right now.
Okay, I would say here's what happens, because these people were apparently prepared. You definitely show somehow in all of this, you have your wits about you enough to react as you see Alex face down on the ground, not sure if he's still alive. And you grab the frying pan and you reach out, and as you're about to smack her into the face as she rushes towards David, the knife raised, all of you hear a loud shot. And Hannah sort of flies back a little bit and onto the ground.
This is worse.
You do not see blood coming from her. And I would say, okay, I start some wrapping things up. We have 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that will happen in, like, I mean, I think the opposite of Quinn has his wits about him. It's that, like, Quinn's brain got out of Quinn's way for once, and the instant he hears the gunshot, he's like back, and it's like, what? And like sort of checks Hannah, doesn't see any blood, and is like looking around for a gunman. It's like, what is happening?
I would like one last roll just to see just how bad it get. Leia and Quinn and Mila, roll keep cool, because this is nothing supernatural, but this is an extreme situation. Dubs, you are, I mean, not you, but the you that has taken over is perfectly fine, because you know that David is a weak link in this. And like, he doesn't even deserve to be part of this game. No. Like, he was a leftover from last time.
He's last week's lasagna.
Yeah. He has done nothing to deserve being here.
Is that mind?
Yeah.
Yes.
Marking that fourth breaking point.
Can I take the lighter from Dubs while he's distracted?
Take the what?
The lighter that he brought. Like, if I knew which pocket he had, could I just run over and grab it from him?
Yeah, sure. I don't even remember that he had I thought Quinn brought it.
No, that was the one thing that he wanted to bring.
Yeah, that's his lighter. Yeah, I would say, since he's being held, like, he is, ravenous at this point, but I would say, since he's being held, the people who hold them are probably shouting at you to just, stay away, but you're just, you're just being, I don't fucking care, and you can go and get that lighter. Okay, so keep cool. Let's double check who wrote what. Leia. So Leia, we start with you at the bottom. On a miss, pick 2. You're shaken to the core, mark 1 breaking point, or you become panicked and accidentally hurt yourself, or you hurt someone else, or you risk the group's safety.
Oh, she'll panic and hurt herself.
Okay.
She'll just like stumble backwards and fall into a tree and bang her head.
And then we have Quinn with a...
I got a 7.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Leia rolled a miss, so you have to pick 2. So you panic and hurt yourself. You fall down.
And maybe I'll knock over. Yeah, definitely. I would say shaken to the core for sure.
So you take 1 more breaking point.
Seems fair.
Oh, that does take a breaking point. Okay. That would give me a lot. Maybe I hurt somebody else too.
Yeah, I mean, you were together with Quinn and Mila.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Quinn is just.
It's far enough, got
Yes.
to harm.
Yeah.
I'm relatively unharmed, but I have 4 breaking points now.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
You're just hearing things.
So Leia, you were at 3, right? Because you did not take an additional one.
Yeah, I was at 3, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
She
so
falls
Mila,
into the trees.
all right. Mila, what do you do with that lighter? Why did you take it?
She's running since she left the box up there. She's gonna go light it on fire.
As the yeah, you can yeah. You can
She's
do
using the
that.
chaos to her advantage.
However, as you notice the woman noticing you doing that, and she calls over to you. It's not going to do anything. It has already escaped it anyway. It's not bound to it. And she takes out a similar box, slightly different design, but with different rune type carvings and markings on it. Is anybody checking in on Alex?
She'll do that if the woman's not. Unless someone else wants to.
Points. I'm pretty sure I just saw a person I know get shot. Checked out. Quinn has like fallen down like on his ass and is just sort of staring at the sky. Just like, what the fuck is that?
So Mila, you're checking on Alex?
Yeah, if she says burning the box won't do anything as she has a lighter to it, she's like, shit. She'll kind of like crawl over to Alex and do whatever she can with her training to like check his...
So I would say first thing you would probably do is check for his pulse. And you can feel a pulse. It's a little bit thready, but it's still there. And as you carefully roll him over, his shirt is drenched in blood all over his chest. But you do whatever is possible to help him. And so the last scenes we see here, sort of to make a little collage, we see Mila sort of forcing herself to stay calm, but still with her eyes wide and hands bloodied, as she is desperately trying to patch up Alex for the time being. We have Quinn, who is just positively shell-shocked, looking around, not sure what to make of this. And then
Leia.
next to him, Leia, probably not very dissimilar, in a dissimilar state.
But she'll put her arm around him.
Yeah.
Kind of hold on.
And then we see scenes of how Dubs and Hannah, who are both just as if they're fighting for their lives. It takes several people to hold them down. And David as well, who finally seem to have also succumbed to this demonic possessions. They're all hold down, sort of kneel down, and then this woman, who never introduced herself, together with 2 other people, they start performing this weird ritual that all of you only have seen in TV shows, and you're like, part of you feels like this, as if you're having this out-of-body experience, of wondering perhaps if any of this is real. But something apparently is happening, because at some point, as the woman also begins to recite something from a book, could be Latin, but you're not 100% sure. The 3 people stop fighting, And by the way, at some point, since David also started to fight against what is going on, his shirt, Quinn, I think you would have seen, because he's sitting on the ground, David's shirt was pushed up enough so that you could see that on his lower back he had the same scratch marks. They look much older, almost like like a scar.
Yeah.
But as seemingly something seems to work of, from this ritual, whatever this is, the three of them start convulsing in a very, very similar way. And also, they begin to scream, and it's very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I mean, I think Quinn is back, like, sort of falling over and getting back up again, is holding his frying pan. I think probably, like, tries to figure out where Mila and Leia are, like...
Oh, Leia's gonna, as soon as he starts moving, she'll grab him and wrap her arms around him and just hold on, because she's so
I think
freaked out.
Quinn is like, half of his body language is like, let us move away from the scary thing, and half his body language is, my friend Dubs is in pain, and as such, she's just sort of like shaking slightly in indecision.
Yeah, like she also wants to go and help, but she doesn't know what to do, and so she's just clinging to him in desperation. Like, maybe if she can hold on to him, then... As
Quinn is raising the pan once more, one of the people would just silently lift a hand, and you would hear others saying, it's working, just continue. And Dubs, you're only half aware of what is happening to you. It's awful, but at the same time you feel this strange entity, even while it's still desperately trying to keep its claws buried deeply into your brain and your soul, that it's shaken up and it's being pulled out of your very being. And I would like all of you to roll one last witness the uncanny.
Oh, hell yeah. Can I make it?
Oh, no.
Hell yeah, I can! Y'all ever seen Rocky Horror? My mind will snap!
Well, shit.
You only rolled 1d6 there.
What?
So you're actually probably okay.
9.
Yeah, hold that.
Oh, you rolled a 9. So yeah, you would have, since this is the end, but it only, I would say it only has narrative flavor if you think that Mila breaks a little bit more, or if, in gaming turns, the other option would be take a -1 on your next roll, but there won't be a next roll because
I think she's more traumatized by Alex almost being dead than what's going on over there.
Oh yeah, that's true. I should have let you roll a keep cool for that, but that's fine. So what happens, Quinn, as you see all of that happen, the screaming, the shouting of those people? You still have no idea who they are, but apparently they know what they're doing, and nothing makes sense. And you just...
I think Quinn, because always the most terrifying thing I can think of to happen when really bad stuff is going on around you is that somebody just starts laughing. It's just like, oh, you are having the exact wrong reaction. And I think, he just starts, like, giggling.
Sort of giggling uncontrollably.
And then, like,
he's possessed, hit him with
the
the pan.
frying pan, and, like, it's just, like, just starts laughing at the whole thing. Before I think his legs just, like, give out from underneath him again, and he's almost, like, starfishing on the ground, just laughing into the sky, which is probably deeply traumatizing for everyone else.
and I would say this is the last scene we see of Quinn just
Losing it.
giggling, losing it on the ground.
It's been a horrible day with lots of weird bullshit, and
But
Quinn's
the
ability to do anything has been zero. It's
The
like,
eerie,
"Yeah, go."
the eerie thing is that the rest of the clearing has become strangely quiet because this ritual it took, and those three persons are all quiet. They're conscious but very weak, and they're just these people walking around. And somebody actually comes over to Mila helping, and as the camera sort of moves up the along the trees and into the canopy, all we hear is Quinn's crazed giggling.
I hit him with a frying pan.
Like the Looney Tunes ending up beer.
So my final question to each one of you is, where are you going from here within the next year? Not longer, just the next year. Leia, let's start with you.
Counseling?
Group counseling.
I mean, if Quinn would be okay with it, if he's like into it, she would try and develop that relationship. I think she would probably not want to particularly, like, initially she wouldn't really want to hang around town. But depending on what he wanted, also she would be okay with leaving or staying, because if she
I think, like, to give a good side and bad side, like, Quinn, like, we get, like, him going to, like, reapplying to some community college around where Leia is and all that. But you get the moment, like, at the end of the nice, happy ending scene where, like, he kind of, like, waves goodbye and goes to, like, full-on, like, therapy. Like, he's deeply traumatized by everything. Like,
yeah,
you get the odd cut in of, like, oh yeah, no, he's on, like, some very serious antidepressants these days. It's not worked out well for Quinn.
yeah,
Trauma's a bitch.
and and I mean, so is she, right? Like, she needs that help too, so she'll kind of support him and go through that sort of thing herself. But I think she's wants to, I think because she's also, like, she's been studying sociology and that sort of thing, she might, I think, take that and continue, like, I think it would inspire her studies. So she would sort of take the interest of the study and kind of throw herself into working. Doing some therapy for sure. She knows there's value to it, but definitely work is coping.
Mila, what about you?
I think Mila moves out of town. She spends a few weeks, figuring everything out, and then maybe she applies to a job in a city somewhere where they pay a little bit more because they have more influx. She's doing the same job because she wants to help people, but also, like, she goes and maybe she becomes like an EMT between, because now she's like, this is a practical skill that I should continue learning. But she just, like, that's the kind of job where she just is consumed by her work. She moves and texting, keeps in touch, with everybody else, checks in on Dubs every once in a while.
And then Dubs, what about you?
Dubs is going to, having snapped back from a weird out-of-body experience, or inner-body experience, however you want to say it, is going to make that decision of it is time to get the fuck out. And he is going to do so by slowly just severing his connection with the town and with those he knows until one day everyone who does kind of keep contact with him just stops getting replies as he finds a job way the hell somewhere else.
Alaska.
Yeah.
All right.
The Aleutian
Well,
Islands.
that concludes our Summer in Woodlake 3-shot.
Did Alex die?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
We all scattered to the four winds.
The knitting
and
needle.
all like things didn't go well.
Yeah,
The knitting needle falls out of the bag into his eye, and he dies. I'm coming to help. She trips, it flies out.
I had written it down, knitting needle, but I didn't know, other than these people bringing it along. I mean, I could have sort of pulled it out, not pulled the needle out of my ass, but Hannah suddenly having the needle and then...
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Petra,
awesome.
that was interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
It was
great.
spooky and weird, and Rem has reptile eyes. I need someone to draw that. Thanks. Rem,
Yeah.
you draw it.
Yes.
But thank you guys for joining. If you guys want to plug some of the stuff you've got going on, maybe whether it be streams or Etsy's or projects you guys are working on, Petra, since you ran the game.
Yeah, so you can find Summer in Woodlake and also the few mini games I have on my itch side, which is petrav.itch.io. And the next, there will be an update coming out for Summer in Woodlake at the end of this month. Planned release date is the 23rd because there's a big gaming convention going on. And so I want to not only drop a general update, but also a German translation of Summer in Woodlake. And so yeah, if you've already grabbed the game on itch, you will automatically be informed about this update. And yeah, I'm also active on Twitter. I don't know if my handle is visible.
You mean V. Polkshausen?
Yeah, that one, only the other way around.
That's the inside joke from before we went live.
Next time on Ginge is Dumb. But yeah, if you want to run to someone, if you want to post the link to Petra's Twitter. And what about you, Madfish? I know you have your Etsy. I know you have your games that you run.
Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff. I have a collective site, actually. So you can just go there and I'll just post that. If you want a Halloween one-shot, I've got one up there. So yeah, you can check that out and you can check out my Etsy store and all of that. Yeah, you can see me on Mondays on Capricorn Cross, on Tuesdays with Nurburg Craig playing Capers, and I have also been on the Runelanders Rapscallions podcast, which is super great, and the most recent episode of The Brave and the Kobolds is out, and you absolutely need to check it out. It's a family-friendly D&D game with incredible art by Penflower Inc. You should absolutely see it.
That sounds awesome. I may want you to run a around Halloween time one shot, so I may take you up on that. And then we also have every time Finbar. I always look at your name and I'm about to say Quinn, and I'm like, no, nope, that's not how that works.
I'm Finbar. My Twitter is @FinbarDS, as you can see here. And when I'm not here, and I'm not tweeting about some bullshit, you can find me at my podcast, which is on Twitter @FeelingsFirst_, FeelingsFirst on SoundCloud, or wherever you get podcasts, because honestly, I upload the podcast to a place and then the podcast tubes take it to people, and occasionally I find out it's in places I never even knew. At the moment, we're a gay fairy circus. I believe at time of this recording, we are in a giant, sentient mountain cave, performing for a man who's... Well, there's a man called Presto Trick, because our MC Luke is exceptionally good at names. So yeah, please do listen to Feelings First. That's me.
That was a lot of information to absorb.
I do my best.
But it's the new Baker PBTA game, right?
Yes. It is a game called Under Hollow Hills, which actually the Kickstarter went live for recently. But
Cool.
the premise is, yeah, you are a fairy circus troupe, journeying between the fairy world and the human world, performing shows for like kings and also birthday parties. Our campaign has so far taken, or our tour, I believe is the phrasing, has taken us to like the heights of like a royal court, and then we did a show where we celebrated the opening of a new store in a mall. Like,
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
yeah, it's
Gonna check that out. Put that on the list. I have a huge list of things I haven't gotten to, so I'll put it on that list at the top.
hell yeah. The list that never ever gets shorter.
It
somehow.
does. It does. This game was on it. I was supposed to play a while back for a one-shot, and then I had to call out of the game for family reasons. And I've been wanting to play it, so... but I know that the next thing we're actually going to be playing is hopefully something that Rem content he's putting out. I don't know if you want to talk about what you got going on.
Yeah. What's up? Name's Rim. I'm working on the second issue of my zine called Duergus, and apparently Shift Enter does not do well on Twitch chat. Anyways, the first issue of the Duergus zine is already available. It's the one PD's Pork Pie Emporium. We've done that one before. The second one's going to be a big old collection of monsters and weird shit that you go, who the fuck came up with this idea? It's me. You can find most of my stuff, all the stuff I've worked on my website, www.rimleyfar.com. I've got a Twitter that I use just to send stuff out every now and then. I'm not super Twittery, but I get on there whenever. And as of now, at the DM's Guild, we've got Happy Jack's Funhouse, which is riding strong. I think it is number 4 now in the hottest DM's Guild titles. I wrote that with Jeff C. Stevens, and it's doing quite well. It is another Halloween-based kind of scary monster adventure with a big scary clown on the front, smiling.
What if you could hit Pennywise with a fireball spell?
You could. You definitely could.
I don't know how I feel about all this. I know that I want you to run it on the channel, so let's talk about that soon. And if anyone here on the cast is interested in playing, let me know. But I'm super pumped for that. Petra, thank you again for your lovely game. It was weird. It made all of us uncomfortable at times, and we got to eat. We got to make one of our characters think he was high. It was great.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
awesome.
Kit, never mind. Not gonna go there,
Quinn
guys.
will never be the same.
He's like, why wasn't I tied up? We're like, all right, Quinn, chill.
That's a different thing.
On the next stream. Guys, thanks for coming to hang out with us. We're going to hop out of here. I'm actually going to go over and host Roll For It, who is playing my favorite tabletop game I can honestly say of all time, which is Blades in the Dark. So we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.